Good evening, chat. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. It's Tuesday night and we got some updates of the Kieran Reed saga. And like I said, we're kind of in the epilogue stage, but it just shows you how disastrous everything is in Norfolk County. And you just how everybody there is basically an unscrupulous turd of some varying degree or another. And I know you might say, well, Sean, you're overblowing it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This county is absolutely fucking garbage. I can't imagine anybody in this county who's not really at this point. I mean, we are very much at the stage of, we have to find one innocent man or, Sodom and Gomorrah are going to be destroyed. And I don't know if you could find one yet. So we're going to get into this real quick here. Sleuthie Goosey, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Guys, Sleuthie Goosey is like, you want somebody who can make all the docs and everything put together and, all kinds of great information out there, a great follow out there. Definitely check her out on Twitter, but also follow her here on YouTube. Great content. Before we get too far, though, guys, once again, my name is Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and today, once again, we are dealing with the Myles King murder case, and Myles King is accused of murdering another black youth, and Myles King is probably guilty. Kind of seems like he very well could be. He's not the nicest guy in the world, and if he did it, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. The problem is, it occurred in Norfolk County, Massachusetts, and Michael Proctor was one of the lead investigators, and Adam Lally was the assistant district attorney running the case from its inception in 2021 up until 2024. So yes, this is a murder case that has been going on since 2021. And Myles King has spent nearly 4 years in jail awaiting trial. And in that 4 years, Adam Lally and Proctor didn't do their job. They violated his constitutional rights repeatedly. And we're just now getting to the point of addressing, well, what did they do and what was the harm they actually caused? I mean, that's the scary part. We're just now getting to that stage in the saga. So that's why we're here today, guys. That's why we're here. And this was set to be today, kind of the round 2 from earlier where where Adam Lally testified about 2 weeks ago, and we learned that he doesn't really care. He doesn't really do anything. As he just sits there, he's like, meh, it'll happen, I guess. We also learned from Adam Lally, as I think it's Mark Bredero was right. Adam Lally's only worried about when's lunch. No, Adam Lally, he might not be able to tell you how much discovery's been turned over in a criminal case, but I guarantee you Adam Lally can tell you how many days until his pension vests and he can quit and retire. That is where we are with this. That's the sad thing. That's where absolutely we are at this phase. Is just having Adam Lally be like, meh, and will the police have this information? Where are you going to go get it? I mean, that's going to be really hard to do, guys. So, I mean, like I ask them, but then they don't really do anything about it. He's like, it's really hard, chat. It's the big pun defense. It's so hard. That's all he does in this. It's all we learned last time. Well, I ask him, and if they don't, oh well, I mean, meh. And Adam Lally is the most stereotypical, shitty prosecutor out there. You know why he took the job? You don't have to hunt for clients. It's 9 to 5, and you get your weekends off. That's great. And that's great. And you get government benefits. That's why he's in this job. He doesn't care about justice. He doesn't care about fighting the bad guys. He wanted an easy job. That's why he's there. So why is my chat still the only messed up? I don't know. Don't know. King has a bulldog lawyer. Yes, he does. He does, and she is absolutely. Hold on. His attorney is Rosemary Scapiccio, and she is. We're going to see her today. This is going to be a shorter hearing, but then we also are going to cover what's going to go on with Karen Reed's stuff here because Alan Jackson gave an interview and he's back in the game, Chad. He's back in the game. He's ready to fight. So we're going to see what happens there. I haven't boomered it. I don't know what happened to the chat, guys. I don't know why it's doing this. I haven't touched anything. So I don't really know. But we're going to get to all that. We're going to get to, let me see here. Just making sure I didn't miss anything you guys said. Yes, Hasho Gonzalez says first. Yes, you were first. It's always important. So, all right, guys, here we go. Here we go. We're going to get started with this. And we're going to start with, actually, we're going to start with, let me see here. We are going to start with, a motion Adam Lally through his attorney they filed. And this is just, the temerity of these people. I give them credit. I give them credit for having the balls to make this motion, but it's pretty pathetic. So this is a motion to limit the scope of questioning of attorney under subpoena. This is Adam Lally, and he's having a motion to limit the scope of questioning. Now, they talk about real quick on May 28th, the defendants filed a motion to dismiss an alternative release on bail and continue the trial date, given the voluminous late discovery that was disclosed. Thousands of pages. After that motion was filed, they agreed Myles King would get reduced to $2,500. And think about that. He's accused of gunning down another guy. And they put him on a $2,500 bond. That tells you a lot that the prosecutors are like, we are in trouble. That they agree. They're in trouble. They say, after a hearing being held with no bail, the court set his bail at $10,000 and he posted immediately. Now, here's where they talk about. And they say the court should suspend Adam Lally's testimony until the defense makes a preliminary showing as to all three prongs required for dismissal. That there's egregious government misconduct. Well, I think that's a pretty easy one. Prejudice to the defendant's right to a fair trial. Well, it's not just a fair trial, a speedy trial. He's had to wait. He waited in prison. He waited in jail for nearly 4 years. That's pretty prejudicial. He couldn't have a fair trial because evidence was taken away from him. I think that's a pretty easy one also. Check. Showing that dismissal is the only remedy for the prejudice. It's only going to continue. Nobody watching this is like, oh, we better be careful. So yes, we could do that because you know what will happen? If they lose, they'll make sure they don't screw up the next time. And sometimes that's what has to happen. Sometimes that's what has to happen. Yeah, think about it this way. An entire presidential term, guys. An entire presidential term, he sat. That's the problem here. That's the problem here. It's the only way these people learn if they're buck broken. And right now they need to be broken. So they say the recent motions, they say that the hearing on the motion was scheduled for July 21st. And it says, Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally was issued a subpoena by defense counsel to appear at that hearing in this matter, scheduled for July 21st at 9 a.m. He appeared and began to testify over his attorney's objection. At that hearing, the court directed counsel for the defendant in the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to work together to specifically identify the scope of discovery that was disclosed late to the defense. The court also directed counsel for the defendant to review the materials and to identify specifically exculpatory evidence that was disclosed late to the defense. Lally testified at the hearing, and the hearing was continued until August 5th, today. With the expectation parties would have narrowed the scope of discovery at issue, and counsel for the defendant would have identified what she claimed to be exculpatory and prejudicial. Okay. Before Lally's testimony recommences, counsel for the defendant should comply with the court's directive and identify how the evidence at issue here is exculpatory and how the defendant has been prejudiced, particularly given that he's been released on bail and the trial's been continued. That's their answer. Well, look, we let you out of jail, buddy. We let you out of jail. We continued the trial. What are you bitching about now? It's all good, bro. That's literally their answer. That really is the answer right now of the prosecution. Well, we let you out of jail. It can't be that bad now. That's literally what they just did here. Like little fucking shitbags. Little shitbags. Little shitbags. And they say without two of the requirements for dismissal, under Commonwealth v. Trepania, the defendant's motion fails. Well, without two of the requirements, I'm pretty sure we've got all three, but okay. And the testimony then from Lally becomes unnecessary. Well, Adam Lally doesn't want people to find out how big of a shitbag he is. Adam Lally is hiding. Adam Lally is hiding. I don't want to be embarrassed. He's like, the way he hurt my feelings. Say, should the court still wish to hear from him, we respectfully suggest that his testimony should be limited to the issue of whether his conduct constitutes egregious misconduct. Which, here's our argument, which in light of the 26 notices of discovery providing unique discovery each time, certainly it does not. Yes, because he by golly, he gave a bunch of stuff. But he's still, by golly, he tried real hard. That's their argument. That's their argument. Now, they talk about a case that happened at the Massachusetts Court of Appeals. On the issue decision, Commonwealth v. Trepania. This case is worth a close study. Like this case, it emanates from an allegation of late disclosure of evidence that was ultimately disclosed pre-trial. In that case, the trial court issued an order to produce discovery, but included what should have been excludable time under the criminal rules, ultimately leading to dismissal. The appeals court was clear that dismissal of the charges as a sanction for a violation in the absence of finding irreparable harm was an abuse of discretion, meaning it got overturned. Now remember, chat, you can't overturn a guilty verdict, but a dismissal can be challenged. You can challenge dismissals. You can challenge them because that's a ruling of the court. It's not a verdict. So they say that they acknowledge we discern no substantive change in this language. Rather, we think it provides an illustrative list of sanctions to aid litigants and judges. And a dismissal with prejudice still requires a showing of irremediable harm, which, this is something in Massachusetts they should fix, because that is a awful fucking standard. It's very hard to meet. And even if the state's being egregious, as long as it's not irremediable, well, technically you can't ever dismiss it, which is insane. So I say, in order to warrant dismissal, there must be an egregious misconduct, prejudice to the right to fair trial, and a dismissal. It must be necessary to cure the prejudice. And here they point out the defense has not made the preliminary showing. It says the remedy of dismissal is only warranted when there is egregious government misconduct. Yeah, I agree. Prejudice to the right to fair trial, yeah. And it's showing that dismissal is the only remedy. Yeah, we've met all three. And they say, in this case, counsel should fail to identify for the court how many of the documents are exculpatory, and therefore delay production prejudices right to fair trial. And they're saying, and where counsel for the defendant fails to show how dismissal is necessary to cure the prejudice, the defendant's motion can be denied without further testimony from Attorney Lally. And they point out once again, well, the trial date's been continued and he was released on bail. That makes it okay. We can fuck people over as long as we do nicely to him. Oh. Say, in any event, Adam Lally's testimony should be limited to the issue of egregious conduct. The court will learn that Attorney Lally was diligent and well-meaning, and that his conduct aimed to conform with his obligations as a prosecutor. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. And I mean, like, look here. Yeah, it's 420. Yeah, I think you guys are smoking a little bit there. I mean, oh, lad, saying Adam Lally was diligent and responsible. Like, fucking give me a break. So now we're going to move on to the hearing itself, and we're going to start with that hearing here. It's not very long, guys, and we'll kind of take our time to talk through it here, but we do need to address it here. Okay. Here we go, chat. Oh, why is this not? I thought this was the live. You got to be kidding me. Why is I thought NBC 10 recorded this? Okay, yes, we are. Sorry, was on the wrong thing here. So, chat, this kind of started a little late. There were some issues there that were kind of a pain in the butt to get into, but here we go. This is Rosemary Scapaccio. I'm probably butchering that, but I try. And this is Myles King over here, sitting here. This is his lead attorney here on this. So here we go. And they're addressing some issues. And not only there are problems, but the prosecutor handed them a bunch more discovery today. So here we go.
Conversation with the Assistant U.S. Attorney Lamacchia. My biggest concern is whether or not it's been communicated to the U.S. Attorney's Office and or the federal judge that you and Judge Fournier and everybody else are looking for this February 2024 order. When I had that conversation with Assistant United States Attorney Lamacchia, he didn't indicate that there was a conversation one way or the other. What he said to me is he needed to speak to Mr. Sullivan, and then he would get back to me.
And remember, chat, this kind of goes back to the Karen Reed case with the TUI letters and the investigations that have been undertaken through the U.S. Attorney's Office. There's all kinds of evidence and information out there that's protected because it comes out of federal court. So she's like, there's so many layers to this that are a disaster right now. And it's only just stacking more and more garbage on top.
When I called again, I didn't get something affirmative in terms of, is that being discussed amongst the things that need to get resolved? Because this court has made it clear that you're not inclined to make a decision on my request for discovery until we get that order. And I just want to make sure we're not waiting until next week and then all of a sudden someone says, now we need the order. So to the extent
I would like to see the February order.
And I conveyed that to them.
But I also have to deal with the issue of whether, regardless of what the order says, whether there's still a constitutional obligation on the DA's office to review the information that they are in possession of.
Now, the issue here is they have indicated that there is exculpatory material they cannot disclose. Yes, you heard that right. They claim there's exculpatory material they cannot disclose in this case. And there's issues with that. And now you notice what Myles' attorney is saying. And she's saying, look, if we're waiting on permission from these courts, has it all happened yet? Because if this doesn't happen now, they're going to come back to court on August 12th, and they're going to sit there and say, well, Judge, we didn't get anything done, so we're going to send it out. And then this pretrial gets kicked out to like sometime in September. And then, okay, well, we're still working on it, Your Honor. And then that just kicked out again and 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 again. So, Johan saying, why can't they disclose? Because if it's under federal court order, you can't. Remember, there's federal case stuff here. There's federal grand jury things. Stuff that they aren't authorized to disclose yet. So, hold on here, Chan. What is this? All right, hold on here, Chan. Who the heck was this? Let's see who this is. I don't recognize his number, but I think I do. Okay, so that is where we are. Sorry, I had to take care of that. Whatever happened to speedy trial? Well, that's a problem when they're asking for discovery and more time and more stuff. Yeah, remember, every time you're asking for something as a defense attorney, you end up with, well, is time told? Meaning, is it on pause? We don't know yet, and that's where there's a whole nother set of math on this one. We don't know what's going to happen here. But anyways, we're going to keep going here. Let's see what they talk about.
To determine whether it contains exculpatory information that should be produced in other cases. I appreciate the fact that somebody says you can't look at this or you can only look at it for a limited purpose, but I'm not sure that trumps the constitutional obligation that the DA's office has to review stuff. I'm trying to avoid having to decide that if we can get the authorization from the federal court so that we don't have conflicting orders. But we're not there quite yet. We need to run it to ground a little bit more.
And remember, this is all because of Karen Reed's Karen Reed investigation at the federal level. Attorney McLaughlin from the DA's office said, yes, I have more information. I can't give it to you right now. And notice all this crap comes from Karen Reed and the Fed sniffing around. And I will say, I give this judge, and a lot of people don't like him today, Judge Krupp. He stood there today and he just said, I don't want to have a pissing match with a federal judge, but the Sixth Amendment is über alles. And you know what? Look, you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, I bet. You're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, but we'll see. We'll see if he's actually about that.
Hopefully we can get some movement this afternoon. I think I told everybody last time, out through the 11th. So I'm back the 12th. I'll see you the 12th. I'll see you the 13th. Whatever is convenient for everybody to get back together. I think...
Judge, I appreciate that 100%. My concern is if we know that we're running up against that clock that runs out on the 18th of August, is there a way that the government can now, or the Commonwealth can now ask the government to extend that order again? I don't want to be in a situation where you finally make a decision.
I think the Commonwealth understands that. So...
Yes.
And I invited you the last time to seek to intervene or to do whatever you needed to do to communicate your concerns to the feds.
I understand that, and that's what I did, Judge. I had a conversation with the U.S. Attorney's Office, had a conversation with their attorney, and the plan was if we did not hear back in a way that was reasonable to us, both myself and Attorney Sullivan planned to file a motion on Wednesday to intervene.
Okay, great.
That was what we were planning on doing. So that's before we knew that they weren't going to have a meeting until 4:00 on Tuesday, Judge.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to set a date? Do you want to say the 12th?
I think the 12th at 2:00, just from my reading of the emails that was going around yesterday, seemed to be the best.
I think that's what Ms. Irwin said.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So we'll put let me just see. We will put,
Except for Mr. Wester, I do want to say, who will still be on vacation.
right, we will put King, De Los Santos, Johnson, and Chanchillo, and I think also Walsh
Yes, please.
on for 2 o'clock on the 12th on the issue relating to the federal Proctor discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Okay.
Your Honor.
And
All right.
is there any way to get an update from the 4 o'clock meeting today, Judge, so that we're not waiting until the 11th or the 12th, the morning of the 12th, to find out what happened?
I'm sure that the Commonwealth will alert folks to whether progress has been made. Everybody needs to be on the same page ultimately for the hearing on the 12th, and you're going to have to act quickly. The Commonwealth may have to act very quickly depending on what happens.
And I've been doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now,
So they come back August 12th. So we'll see here.
with respect to the King matter, we're just dealing with the issue of the late disclosure. And
remember, chat, the disclosure is including things like search warrants they used to get evidence that they then presented to the grand jury to then indict Myles King that only showed up 4 years later.
May I be heard, Your Honor?
sure.
At the close of the last hearing, you asked the defendant to provide the court with which documents were either exculpatory or would inhibit the defendant's right to a fair trial, would be prejudicial to him. I have not heard of one document since these have been provided in April and May. And to that end, I'd ask the court to order that right now. I think that this has gone on. This is now the second day of a hearing, and the Commonwealth is unaware of which document or which documents are prejudicial to the defendant and will prevent him from having a fair trial.
We had two things I was looking for.
The balls of this man. I mean, right down here is Adam Lally. I wonder if this guy fucks Adam Lally's wife. Because, I mean, Adam Lally's a big cuck, but this guy's like a alpha cuck. You know, you haven't told us which ones are... You have an idea what's wrong. You're the ones who turned him over. Are you acting like you don't know what's going on here? But yes, the court wanted her to start collating and going through 3,000 documents, 3,000 pages to figure out what was there and what was going to be critically important to their case. And they did this on the 21st. So for those of you watching, it's been 2 weeks to go through 3,000 documents with a laser-like focus.
I was looking for that, and I was also looking for some sort of a agreement of the parties, if it was worked out, to identify which of the documents were newly disclosed, which were partially disclosed previously and fully disclosed more recently. And then there was the prejudice analysis as to the new documents.
Correct.
So there was sort of a two-phased process.
That's
I don't
right.
know whether either one of those phases happened, whether the parties met and tried to work out an agreed list as to what was new or what was not new.
I endeavored to work with ADA Hickman to ensure Your Honor had a complete list as diligently and as best as we could of what documents were previously produced, and that was provided to Your Honor. I believe was sitting on your desk as Monday morning. It was a third exhibit that the Commonwealth provided. We did confer on Friday afternoon. It was represented to me that counsel would be providing us a disagreed list or a number of other lists to show the court what they disagreed with.
I got a pile of documents.
And we got that as well.
This is the pile that I got, I think, from Mr. Piccio's office. I don't know what.
Notice the prosecutor's like, well, they never did it. It's like, she did the work. Look at that. Look at that that's work right there. That's putting in work, chat. Listen to these people. Listen to these people. I mean, just listen to this office. Is there any actual honest person in this goddamn prosecutor's office? Hard to know. Hard to know at this point. And real quick, Tracy Fagan for $2. Thank you, Tracy. Says a half affidavit. What the fuck is that? Yeah, pretty much. That was pretty much half-assed. Let's keep going.
This is the pile that I got, I think, from Mr. Piccio's office.
Sorry,
I don't know
Mr.
what's
Piccio.
included in there is the chart that you folks worked out that you say was on my desk. I'm not sure I know what you're referring to in terms of a list that was new or not new, but maybe it is in the stack.
It's a table. It's the third. If you look in the manila folder that's underneath that, there, in a rubber band, it's in your hand right now.
Oh, in here, okay, this one.
That, yes. The third doc,
Okay,
that is what I prepared with the assistance of ADA Hickman.
okay,
Which specifically describes what, if anything, is
okay,
minorly different. That was provided to council on Thursday last week. We met we got a teleconference on Friday, and council was working on their own lists.
okay,
So to answer your question, no, there was no agreements as of now. We endeavored to meet earlier and understand from my pleading what council disagreed with, but that was not reached. We provided you, the Commonwealth has provided you as best we can what has been previously provided.
okay.
If there's any subtle differences, we can supplement that at a later date, but at this point, I know ADA Hickman has worked very hard
All right.
to go through the material.
Attorney Scapiccio?
Thank you, Your Honor. So we've provided 3 charts, both to the Commonwealth and to the court. The first chart deals with the information contained in the Commonwealth's opposition in disputed documents from pages 7 and 8 of their motion to dismiss. The second chart deals with all of the new discovery, which I thought we were in agreement that the second chart is everything that was new, it hasn't been disputed by the Commonwealth. And the third chart is the information.
So you have 2 dueling charts, huh? So you have the Commonwealth's chart and your chart.
Yes,
This is exactly what I didn't want to have happen.
I understand, Judge.
So why didn't you get together and work, figure
Well, Judge,
out?
Well, why didn't they get together? Because the prosecutor's going to say none of it's prejudicial. They're going to say it's all doesn't fucking matter. I mean, let's be real, Judge. Why did they get together? Because they're never going to agree. They're never going to agree. I mean, like, just how fucking dishonest is this guy going to be here with that? Well, why didn't you get together? Why would I get together people who aren't going to fucking agree with me? They're not going to agree they fucked up. They're never going to agree they fucked up.
I tried you.
Well, I think we both tried. I'm playing catch up here, Judge. They've had this information since 2021.
That's a good fucking point. The prosecutor's like, well, I tried. It's like, motherfucker, you've had this shit for years. I'm figuring this out on my own. That is hilarioso. But good for her fighting back like that. That is that was a good job. That was a good job by her. That was a good response back.
Trying to go through fried. I'm playing catch up here, Judge. They've had this information since 2021. I'm trying to go through it, organize it, and figure out where it fits in the most timely fashion that I can. And that's what I've spent my time doing. So when we spoke on
And
Friday.
do I have a list of the items which are new or which you claim to be new, and that I can then cross-reference against the Commonwealth's list, which you say are prejudicial or are exculpatory and you're behind the 8 ball because of the late disclosure, notwithstanding the continuance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I am.
where will I find that?
So where will you find what, Judge?
Your list of the explanation of why particular things are prejudicial to you.
That hasn't been completed yet, Judge.
Okay.
I just got to the point where I was able to send a list to them literally Monday morning saying,
Yeah.
based on everything that you provided since April.
It's 2 weeks. Yeah, based on everything that provided since April. But even then, the judge says you have 2 weeks to organize, collate, and create all of this. You have 2 weeks to organize 3,000 pages. No pressure. No pressure.
April. Here's what I think is new, and we all agree it's new. That's chart number 2. Here are my disputes from what you say you already gave us from the first part of your motion, and here's what we say is new from the second part of your motion. That's what I was able to accomplish in the week that we had between now and the last hearing.
All right. So
notice she's done the thing. She's like, I did it all. Now the judge is this is the issue here. But this isn't done in a format the judge likes. She put it together in a way that's intuitive, and this is the problem. It makes sense to me, Your Honor. Well, and the judge is like, it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe he wants it in a different format. But she did the work. And, I mean, the work is good. The judge, it's just not presented the way he was thinking. So
you need more time to get the other stuff done.
I do.
Okay. How much time do you need?
It depends. I just got more discovery this morning, Judge, so it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
So in order for me to get
And
my
there we
hands
go,
around it,
chat.
they have to
There
be able
we
to
go.
certify that I have everything, Judge. Because I can't keep doing this piecemeal the way that they've asked me to do it over the last month and a half. So do we have everything? Because if we do, I'm happy to sit down and say, this is where we are and this is where we stand. But if we don't have everything and we're going to come back in a week and they're going to hand me something else in the morning of the hearing and say, this is,
Well,
now this
as
is
an initial crack, I wanted a list.
And there we go. That's the biggest thing. They keep giving it to me. They keep slow rolling me. Yeah. Yeah. They keep slow rolling it. And it's never there's never any closure. The state is just dragging it along. And it's clear they're dragging it along. And the sad thing is, and here's the real part of this, that if I'm the state, and I think if they had to be pressed on this, you got to put a gun to their head. Here's the thing. They don't know how bad this case is trashed. I mean, I think they're preparing, and I think that it's kind of like you buy a house and you are just yanking off drywall and you are finding more, and you're like, oh my God. And you guys, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You tear down a piece of drywall and you expose studs, and you're like, this is some hillbilly Jim bullshit. Some just like shade tree carpenter work that's been done. Or like, Bob the blind electrician. Like, I think they're slowly digging through this. Slowly digging through this. And they're finding more and more, and I think it's probably scaring the living piss out of them all. So, Lone Star Medic for 10 dollary doodles. Thank you. Says, why I don't talk to commies? They're already wrapping my hands in front of the wall while I argue the Constitution. Yes. Very true. Very, very, very true. Thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you for stopping by. Chinny says, yes, this is the judge of Turtle Boy in jail. And yes, from having heard all this so far, chat, I'm not impressed. And, that whole where he made the argument about, well, the Sixth Amendment is going to be, he don't give a shit. He don't give a shit about Sixth Amendment. It's all lip service. It's just like Fulton County, Georgia. We saw the YSL trial. There are no honest men in that building. Put a bulldoze and tarp it over. Make it a parking lot. Bulldoze this court. Clean the stink off of the face of this earth. Just bulldoze it all. Just tear it all down. It is a den of inequity. Yeah. So. Amateur Iconoclast says, built by Mexicans. Har, 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 har. Shinny says, why didn't the judge order a deadline for all discovery to be handed over? There's already discovery rules. Remember, Hank Brennan kept on crying about Rule 14, Rule 14, Rule 14, Rule 14. Because there's already a rule. There's already a rule. And they're bitch made, and they won't do anything about it. But let's keep going.
List of what was new and what was prejudicial in the two notices as of when the motion to dismiss was filed.
Yes,
That's what I think we were shooting for. We
And that-
understood that some new stuff had been produced after that.
yes.
I don't know what the explanation is for that, but in any event, we're looking at what was filed as of the time the motion to, what was new as of the time the motion to dismiss was filed.
So Judge, what I did with the new information is I put it in chart 2 as just a description of it. I cross-referenced it to a bait stamp number if we had it, and I put it in a discovery category, which is I thought what the court asked me to do. So some of it has to do with jail calls, some of it has to do with social media, some of it has to do with search warrants. I've categorized it in a way that I think that I was hoping it would help the court understand.
Can we make a record here?
Yes,
You were referring to lots of stuff which is not in the record,
Correct.
right? We admitted in the last hearing exactly one document,
yes.
right? If you are referring to particular charts, let's be clear about what they are. Let's mark them as an exhibit. And then we'll discuss what we need to do. You can explain what those documents are to me without a witness.
And now that's true. The judge is like, look, when you say this paper, that paper, you got to say like page number and stuff like that. And the judge is like, if we're going to do that, because the record doesn't know what you're looking at.
I think that's sufficient. And then we'll decide whether we're going to proceed with the hearing on an evidentiary basis today or not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So I've been handed 3 charts. Chart 1, chart 2, and chart 3. You're moving their admission?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection, at least for the record here?
No objection.
Okay. So these will be marked as, unfortunately, exhibits 2, 3, and 4, because we already have an exhibit 1.
And may I admit the Commonwealth's exhibit?
Yes.
That's
Page
the chart.
1 of 3,000.
Commonwealth exhibit.
Yes.
Any problem with this?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So this
Never.
will be exhibit 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, how do I deal with these charts? How do I read them? They look like you're talking past each other to some extent, that they're not, so if I look on exhibit 2, which is the defense chart number 1, discovery address in Commonwealth opposition to our motion to dismiss. Item 1, copy of search warrant affidavit for T-Mobile cell phone, draft affidavit. What does this tell me?
So what that's meant to tell you, Judge, is that the Commonwealth is, in their pleadings, are indicating that we actually got the search warrants. We didn't get the search warrants.
No, hold on. Not argument, just what does it show? Document description is received by King.
Right.
What is that? What's in that column?
So that column is what we actually received as opposed to what the Commonwealth is claiming they gave us. And it's categorized. So the Commonwealth is claiming, so for the first 2, Judge, if I can just show you, for the first 2, the Commonwealth is claiming that they already provided those search warrants to us. They haven't provided the search warrants to us, Judge. In fact, what they provided to us was
No. Just slow down. I want to understand what Exhibit 2 shows.
So Exhibit 2 takes the Commonwealth's opposition.
What's in column 1?
Column 1 is the description that was received by us.
You're
from the
quoting
Commonwealth.
something from what?
Discovery notices, Judge.
Draft affidavit for search warrant 21 SW.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're quoting what?
We're quoting what the Commonwealth named these.
And here's the thing, and this is the problem. She has to say, Your Honor, this is the thing, and this is the problem, because this is, look how much of a disaster this is, that she has to dig in, and this isn't the judge not perceiving breakfast. This massive document, you guys, is so congealed and just like, it's hard to figure out what she's talking about. He's got that stack of papers, and she's like, well, the what? This motion from the state. Which one? Like, she can't even keep up with it. He can't keep up with it. They've made a Gordian knot of this this mess. The state has gummed it up so bad, nobody can figure out what the hell they're talking about. And also remember, she has to be clear for the record. The record has to be protected. I would agree the correct approach is to let her explain and then ask her questions, but this judge is not letting her do it. But this just shows you, like, here's the prejudice. We can't even explain it to you what's going wrong. I think that's a very, how much more prejudicial can it get? You don't even understand. We can't even explain it to you. That's pretty prejudicial, in my opinion.
Documents in their opposition, Judge. That's what the Commonwealth named these documents, to try to convince the court that we already had them. There's search warrant stuff down there. The two.
Okay, and you don't have any Bates numbers here, so I can't go and find these things, right?
Right, because the Commonwealth didn't have the Bates stamps in the ones that we did. So if you look down to the second column, we do have Bates stamps. There were some things that were given.
Second column?
Second.
Now, here's the other problem. There are no Bates stamps in some of the documents, chat. And a Bates stamp, we've gone over these before. It's a way you identify and label pages in a document, in like documents. So, for example, like if you have discovery, you could say, Your Honor, I'm talking about page 212 in discovery. And the way it works, chat, especially out here, the way things get Bates stamped, the first document is 1. And then every bit of discovery after that is a sequential number. So you might end up with 3,000 pages of discovery, but it'll be 3,000 Bates stamps. And a Bates stamp is, it goes back, but it's a document collection method. It's called Bates numbering. It was there actually is a old thing here, guys, and this is where the Bates stamp came from. This is when you're like, well, what's a Bates stamp? It's like, oh, it's all electronic. No, the Bates stamp has been around for a long time. The Bates numbering machine. This is very important stuff. And notice, you could do with the Bates stamp, so you could say duplicate numbers, repeat numbers. You could also do consecutive. So it'd go ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. And you could just churn out documents, but it is a real thing. The number is unique to the document. Well, you know what? Here, let me, I'm going to have to bring up something here. Let me pull up some discovery real quick, because I'll show you what a Bates stamp looks like for real. All right, hold on here. Okay, I need a Bates stamped document. Okay, let me pull this up. I got to cut some things up. I'm trying to find a good example of a Bates stamp here. Actually, here's a good Bates. Here's some Bates stamping. So this will suffice for Bates stamping. This is a Bates stamp, chat. This right here is a Bates stamp. Okay. And then another one is, let me see if I can. That's what a bait stamp shows. But a bait stamp lists it all out. And this is a way you could control for things. And you say, Your Honor, here's what I need from you. And this works perfectly there. Are there foamers for bait stamps? Kind of. Itchy Withers Rescue. Is it a library catalog? No, it's not that. Like I said, it's meant so I could say, Your Honor, turn to page 17 in Discovery. And what I'll do that here. So let me and even if I show what's here, this is not the end of the world, but I'm gonna actually hold on here. We're just gonna so all right, hold on here. There we go, chat. Okay. I could show you guys here. I'll show you what an actual bait stamp looks like. Because that one, I don't think you guys are catching on to what I'm getting at here. Okay. Let's see. We'll open this up here. And the bait stamp allows you to just look at things in a way that you could control all of it. And for example, if this was a court case, here, let me. Okay, perfect. Now I got it. All right, chat. Here is an example of a bait stamp. All right. I want this. Oh, hold on. I gotta fix this. Sorry, Chan. I gotta go in and redact one little thing for you guys, so you guys can't figure out case number, because that's not fair. All right. Here is a good example of a bait stamp. We are going to save it right there. All right. There. Now I got one we can do. This is an example of a bait stamp. Okay, perfect. It shows up right. All right. Here's an example of a bait stamp right here. I've redacted all the information out of it so you guys can't see what's worried about it. This is a bait stamp here, okay? The bait stamp, it labels it all based on how you organize it. And you can say this is a photograph. And what's it a photograph of? Well, it's an axon capture photo, meaning this is a still frame out of a body cam, okay? And it's from the Ashtabula County Prosecutor's Office, the County Prosecutor's Office here in Ohio. And it's page 17. That's a bait stamp. So we can all agree page 17, and we all know what we're looking at. And the judge can have a copy if we need to. And we both could figure out what's going on there. So that will 100%. Puff says, wow, thank you. This changed my life. You guys. In my days, used it all the time, even groceries and department stores. Yeah, it's a thing in many companies and organizations. But it does help show, this is basic shit. This is basic shit. It's not hard. It's not hard. And this is in a rural prosecutor's office, and they fucking do this. And the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, hold on. Yeah. And the neat thing is that's all done by the computer program they have and the evidence management program they have. What was their budget? the Norfolk County District Attorney's budget in 2024. The Norfolk County's budget, what did they get approved for? Budget tracking. So it looks like finally to the governor here. So the budget, and it's weird how they do stuff in Massachusetts, because this isn't like each county would not get its budget items through the state like this. This is a little weird. But the 2024 would end up going to the governor. $13.7 million. And they can't afford some basic shit to operate a computer program that'll mark and denote their stuff. That, like, this is how much they took in 2024. Like, what are they doing with all this damn money? What are they doing with the money? Like, oh, we don't bait stamp everything. You know, this is just like I said, guys. This thing here, there's a computer program, software system that does all that. It's not like you have to sit there and do it yourself. It's not hard. It's not hard. But these scumbags are making it hard. So.
On to the second column, we do have bait stamps. There were some things that were given.
Second column,
The second part of the chart. We were able to provide bait
second
stamps.
chart for this?
No, just where it says notice 4925.
All right. So how do I compare what you have to what the Commonwealth has provided me? I need you to be on the same page. I need you to go through every single document that was produced that you base your motion to dismiss on. Every single one. You have to address every single one. Okay. And you have to make a chart saying this was produced in Discovery Packet 1. This was never produced before. Okay. I don't need argument associated with it. I just need to know the universe of the problem. I need to get my arms around the scope of the problem. And then I need to know, with respect to anything that's new or substantially new or partially new, why you're prejudiced by the late disclosure of that additional information.
Understood, Judge.
So I don't have that here, right?
I thought you did. I understand now you don't follow it the way that I followed it.
Well, I don't understand it. So I need you to explain to me why you think I do have that, if I do.
Well, I think you have part of it, Judge. I don't think you have all of it.
All right. So I need all of it.
Okay.
Okay. So I understand the scope of the problem. And then I can analyze the question of prejudice. After you've analyzed the question of prejudice.
Yes, Judge.
So how are we going to do this?
We're here at 9:24. I'd be happy to meet with the parties downstairs for the next 3 hours.
I think it would be a much more productive use of time than putting Mr. Lally back on the stand or anybody else. Because there are real constraints on the court's ability to provide a remedy beyond the remedy that has already been provided, absent real showing of meaningful prejudice.
And that's the sad part for this state. Massachusetts has made it obscenely hard for you to get. Notice he said, unless you show real prejudice, I can't do anything about this. Think about how shitty that is. How garbage this state is that they punish you because, oh, the prosecutor, well, he didn't bend you over all the way. And hey, you spent 4 years in jail, but we let you out. Ha 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 ha. No harm, no foul. It's pathetic.
And so I need to understand where that prejudice is coming from. And it's, so you're welcome to spend the next 3 hours doing that.
Sure, Your Honor.
But they're never going to agree anyway.
Okay. I know everybody's here. I know we have witnesses here. I'm sorry about that, but I think we need to do this in a logical order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a hearing at noon, from noon to 1, where I have to finish an evidentiary hearing in another.
Real quick chat, if you guys weren't able to figure it out, like I said, this is Lally sitting right here, getting ready to go, and he's got his attorney. You know, on the positive side, even though this is turning into a travesty of a hearing, Lally's having to pay this guy money. Money. So on the one hand, you may not like this, but at least Lally's having to pay money. Lally's having to pay money to have his attorney sit there and take notes. So suffer, Lally. Suffer. Let that pocketbook hurt. Let that pocketbook hurt, buddy.
Their two co-defendant case. That'll take me from noon to 1 o'clock. I'm happy to see you at 2. If you're able to make substantive progress between now and then, or I'm happy to just see you on the 12th.
I don't
But
know
the
where-
12th would not be for evidence. It would be for an explanation of the analysis that you've done on all the various documents that were apparently produced late.
I don't know where we'll get it. I mean, we could let the clerks know if we could.
I'm happy to report back at 2, Judge, if that's what you
Yeah.
want us to do.
Yeah. I would like to release the witnesses.
Yeah, I think you should release the witnesses. I think and I think frankly, I should see you on the 12th, because if you're not done by 12 or whenever today, we're going to be together on the 12th. It's the soonest I can see you after today in any event. And it'll allow you to do the prejudice analysis, because that's the first part of it. That's great. Everybody's on the same page as to what's new.
Mhm.
And then I need to hear from defense counsel, document by document, as to why it's prejudicial that this was lately disclosed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, I believe we have one outstanding issue that was brought to the court's attention, and I believe Attorney Moynihan is here.
We're none.
We had the order of Judge Doolin of June 17th relative to Mr. Proctor's personal phone, and Attorney Moynihan has.
This is the other thing I can't stand about Massachusetts. They have all these different judges handling the same cases, and all these things happen, and there's like 5 different judges infecting one case. This is just nonsense, and it makes no sense to me why they do this gobbledygook. It would all be one judge. It should be with one judge. This stuff should be consolidated. The fact these things bounce around between 6 judges is just a further example of how much of a disaster this is in Massachusetts.
Filed a motion on our last date relative to that order, and I wondered if we could address that today. It's the one outstanding issue that we have on Judge
Hey, you know who else needs her phone back? Karen Reed needs her phone back. Guess what? Too bad, Proctor.
Doolin's June 17th ruling relative to Mr. Proctor's personal phone, Your Honor.
Judge, I didn't know we were addressing that today.
My understanding on the last date, Your Honor, is we put it down for noon because Attorney Moynihan would be here, and today would be the day that we'd be addressing this issue relative to Judge Doolin's order. I believe I asked the court on our last date whether or not this needed to go back to Judge Doolin, and Your Honor indicated that you had read the order and felt that you could make a decision.
Frankly, Your Honor, I didn't notice we were addressing that today.
Would you like to be here on the 12th also?
I would need to check, but if I could be available on the 12th,
This is Michael Proctor's attorney in the back talking.
but that would be a better day than today.
Okay.
You want to
If I can
check?
just double
You have
check.
your calendar?
Sorry,
You have your calendar?
I'd have to just call my office.
Okay. Let's put it on for the 12th. Call your office.
So, I mean, this is just absolutely retarded. Absolutely retarded in this courtroom.
If for some reason you're unavailable, let me know. I'll get back on the bench and we'll set another time.
Is that 2 o'clock, Your Honor?
It would be 2 o'clock, yes. I have the papers here. I didn't read them for this hearing, but I will take a look at them now. So if you decide you want to be heard today, I'll hear you on it.
I prefer the 12th. I can let the clerk know if I'm available. So I believe I can be available. I have to double check if I can.
Okay. All right. So if you can be available, we'll hear you on the.
Now, some of you guys might also, somebody asked me this before. Why is this lady not using the steno mask? Remember, we had that one lady before, it looked like she was like putting on an oxygen mask to go on a bombing run. That's because she was doing immediate transcription of the trial. This is a pre-trial. She is running the recording equipment that's tied to this clock. And there's these microphones here are picking up everything. The microphones here. It's all being digitally recorded. So that's some of you. I know some of you have asked that before. That's all they're doing here is just, it costs money to have that lady come sit there and do that. So until they need it, they just let the machines do the work.
12th.
And
Otherwise,
record.
let the clerk know and I'll hear you now. Okay? Okay. Anything else we can do today? Thank you.
Thank you.
Until it's a thing. Never thing until it's a thing.
So
Since never thing until it's a thing. What? I guess. All right.
oh, look who's right here. Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy keeping it on lock.
Are we going downstairs to your office? Are we doing this here? Okay, great. Thank you.
Nice job.
So now Myles King has to spend even more money because now his attorneys have to go play fiddle fuck with the prosecutor. How far do you think they're going to get in 3 hours? How far do you think they're going to get in the next 7 days? Remember, this isn't the only case. Like the prosecutor's office, they can fuck off all the time. But how, like, Myles' defense attorney, this isn't the only case. I'm sure she's being paid well, but I'm sure the money ain't going as far as Karen Reed's money. Her resources aren't going to be as infinite. So she has to spend time and effort. Time and effort that, like, how much does anybody have? And I mean, like, and there, look, fuck face himself, Lally. Can I retire yet? That's what he looks like. I hope my wife bought me the Switch too. Look at how he feels when he's not in charge of a courtroom. He is definitely a man who's like, I don't like this feeling. And I'm like, do you feel in charge, Adam? He's like, no, I do not. Shoves his hands in his pockets like a little pussy boy. Look at him, just pussy boy, like walking off with his hands in his pockets, staring at the ground. He is the virgin meme at that point. So that is what happened there, you guys. That's what happened there. You're just like, what the hell happened? Like, what the hell happened? Just absolute stupidity. Absolute stupidity. As far as things are concerned. And from there, Turtle Boy was outside. Where is, I think did he not? I thought he went live with it this morning. Yeah, this is the aftermath as Proctor left the courthouse because he didn't testify today. But this is Turtle Boy dealing with Proctor and his attorneys. His attorney here. This is actually kind of funny.
There is Michael Proctor on his way out of court. This should be interesting. Oh boy.
He doesn't have a job. He's a bum. He's jobless. He's not a cop anymore.
As you can see, he appears to be fatter than before. This should be interesting.
As a fat guy, I feel pain there for him.
There was a witness in a homicide case that said, not a defendant there, he's just a witness in a a homicide case. Subpoenaed here by defense attorney.
See, I don't even know why you're fucking talking. Just fucking walk and go. He was subpoenaed here. He's a witness in a homicide case. Nobody in the fucking Boston area gives 2 fucks about this guy right now. This is what you should be doing. Keep your mouth closed and just fucking get your client out of there and hope he doesn't fucking crash out in front of everybody. Just go. There, I mean, I get it, buddy. I got to keep getting business, and I get that. I respect that, but like, this is your number one priority right now. This is number one. That's number one. So.
Focus on the homicide case, focus on the victim's family.
Can you say anything about the
I don't make predictions. We have a case, that's all I'm going to say.
Mr. Proctor, would you like to say anything about the accused family?
Any comment about your wife calling people's jobs to get them in trouble?
Thank
If
you.
they commented about you on social media?
Yeah, his wife's calling people jobs like a fucking, like, I hate to use the word Karen in the Karen Reed saga, but yes, I'm sure that his wife is as big of a cunt as he is.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day, everybody.
Any comment? Yeah, I didn't think so. Look on your face. That's fair.
Have a nice day.
Okay.
How's the diet going? Good? No?
Proctor's got to be so mad. He's like, a year ago, I could get you fucking arrested. And now he's dickless and he has no power. He has no power anymore. He's like, look at him. He's cocked. Kat said, why is Proctor there? Proctor was one of the lead investigators in this murder trial. And he fucked up all kinds of discovery. Who knows what he tampered with? So, yeah. His wife was calling people's jobs? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was supposed to testify today about what he did or didn't do with discovery, but we never got that far. So, one might say it's his destiny. The skinny tie does make him look super fat. Yeah, that is a thing. When you're a fat person, you don't wear skinny ties. And he's not wearing a skinny tie. He's wearing like a tie for an average-bodied person, like somebody who's not fat. You need to wear fat guy ties. Like, they make fat guy ties. They're longer anyway, but they're also a little fatter and wider. It helps a lot. Yeah, King's lawyers want access to his phone to prove bias. Yeah, just like with Karen Reed. And that's the problem. Once this starts, it never stops. So, but let's hear a little more of this.
Nice tan line.
Mr. Proctor, have you obtained employment since
That is funny. He's got a tan line.
being terminated by the state police? Hello, Mr. Attorney.
Hello, Mr. Media.
Maybe you can answer.
I will say this is kind of fuck. Like, where the fuck did they park? Is this
Has Mr. Proctor obtained employment since being terminated by?
I mean, hold on here. Where was reserved for the district attorney? Oh, well, fuck that. Where do you park if you're an attorney and you have fucking court? You have to find like some random fucking parking space somewhere? Fuck that. Fuck that.
Maybe you can answer.
courthouse,
Has
yeah, parking
Mr.
lot.
Proctor obtained employment since being terminated by the state police?
Gonna go to communication school.
Oh, that's good. Never too late.
That is a very funny quip. I'll give him credit. Very funny quip.
Okay. Do you know why Brian Tully was here today? Is he involved in this case?
He is.
Where's the DA?
Where can I find him?
I don't know. They're in their office. They got an office.
Michael Morrissey's like a hermit. No one can find him.
They got an office in the building.
I know. I've never seen Michael Morrissey in the flesh. I don't think anyone has. He didn't come to a single day of the Karen Reed hearing trial, even though it's like kind of like a high profile trial. It was just weird not seeing the DA there. But yeah.
Are we all set?
Ah! Are we all saying just keep fucking walking, dude? Just keep fucking walking. I've had to deal with like families filming. You just like you tell your guy, keep fucking walking, ignore him. Like I've had this happen before. Like you're walking, and my guy like cuts like, well, what do we talk about? I'm like, did you watch the Unions game last night? And you just fucking talk about something else. Be like, yeah, just like anything. And just keep walking. Quit fucking turning around. I mean, it's great. It's great for Turtle Boy. This is Keno, but homie, just keep going.
Yeah, just
I will say he does have a very good tie. I like his tie.
filming. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, I'm not
I really like the tie.
starting anything.
Okay. What are you filming for? What do you want to know?
Well, you heard my questions.
What, where's Mr. Tully?
Well, that and most people want to know, like, what's Mr. Proctor doing for work these days?
That's nobody's business.
I know, but I'm just asking. It's not a crime
No,
to ask,
The
right?
answer is it's nobody's business.
Okay.
Mr. Tully, go ask the DA's office. I don't know if he's here.
Have you seen the DA?
Who? Morrissey?
Yeah, Morrissey.
No. I
No
haven't
one
seen him
has.
in years.
You'll-
I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, welcome to the club. You know,
But we don't have that answer, so why don't we just let this go?
let what go?
Well, you're following him
Oh.
to his car.
Well, I'm just filming. Okay. I mean, I can leave if you want. I just want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
All right. We'll let him go.
That was actually very nice of Turtle Boy to leave him be. He could have followed him, but he didn't. That was very nice of him. That was very nice of him. Oh. He's a lawn boy, hence the tan line. Ooh. He's selling hot dogs. Yeah. They need parking for Cosgrove's horse and carriage. Oh, Proctor's so pissed his attorney's talking to Aiden. No, Proctor is so pissed that Turtle Boy's talking to him and there's nothing he could fucking do about it. Like, he's like, if I still had my badge, I'd abuse my authority and put you in fucking jail again. That's what he's thinking. I call my friend Tully and he'd put you away. Oh. So, let's get some comments here. Kathy, your realtor in Jersey, real quick, says, hey, now, guys, remember, Kathy is your realtor in New Jersey, not the Channel Island of Jersey. If you guys are in New Jersey looking to buy, sell, lease, whatever it is, I mean, you may be looking to do a fee simple, subject to complete divestment. You may be looking for a life fee on a life estate, whatever it is. Kathy is your realtor of choice. Give her a call. Get a hold of Kathy. And she says, hey, now, Bob the Bind Electrician is on my preferred vendor list. Oh. John Coleman for $2 says, what the Commonwealth does, I call a schlock job. Yes. Just absolutely pathetic and garbage. Rashad Marquez is saying, tell me your litigation. I think you mean like I run a general practice, so I kind of do a little bit of everything here, but I do a lot of criminal defense work. So I think that's probably what you're asking. If I wasn't clear on that, my apologies. If you're asking for something else. Wawa supervisor says, if I had to guess, a considerable amount of money for the DA's budget went to the Top Golf they just built in Canton. The Top Golf, or however the fuck they'd say it there. I don't know. Patty B says, am I wrong to think the judge is protecting the state? No, you're not. Remember, you have 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and what's the third one, chat? What's the third one? What's this third branch of government? What's this third branch of government? Judicial. They're branches on a tree, and guess what? Trees don't attack themselves. A tree doesn't kill. The branches don't kill each other. The branches don't kill each other. Tracy Fagan for $5 says, I missed the part where she offers to buy the Commonwealth a bait stamp machine. Oh my God. Fucking good on her. Yes, I'll buy one for you. More importantly, I'll buy you the computer program. Like I said, guys, I've been to some dirt poor rural counties in Ohio, and they have bait stamped things. So they're very sophisticated. suburban Boston, Norfolk County DA should be able to fucking do it. So, is Lally ever in charge of a courtroom? No. He's never in charge of a bedroom either. Good to see you, Coke Fairy. Digital Void Entertainment's been a member for 3 months. Thank you. It says, why is the killer from Identity wearing the cringy blue glasses outside of a Massachusetts courthouse? Oh, that's funny. Thank you for that. And then EDWR for $5 says, if you were big, get your tie from Thornton Melons, tall and fat. Okay. All right, chat. Oh. Turtle Boy did the lawyer a solid for answering questions. Yeah. Well, like I said, Turtle Boy, did a Karam's is the pedophiles of the third branch. Yes. Actually, the third branch of government is the globalists. And actually, when they turn together, the globalists take them into one branch and they beat us over the ass with that branch. That's what the globalists do. All right, chat. Well, we are getting ready. There's also some other information that's out there, chat. There's some other information here. And that moves on to what's going on with Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson gave an interview here, and it's an interesting interview. It's an interesting interview he gave to to a Boston radio show. And I think it's important because he does it over the phone, but he says a lot of things that it's kind of important for us to hear. So here we go. Here we go. And we're going to go through this a little faster because this is in court, but Alan Jackson is going to talk some shit. Let me tell you what. Here we go.
In the nation and certainly around here we're obsessed with. And joining us this morning on this show for the first time, one of her attorneys, Alan Jackson. Alan, good morning.
Hey, Greg, how are you this morning?
Great to have you on. I know it's early out there in California. I appreciate you taking the time.
Pleasure.
I mean, I've been trying to get you on since the trial, but I mean, I know you had other things you had to do.
Well, I need a little courting. You didn't court me, Greg. Come on.
Well, I tried. You took to Instagram over the weekend to say that you're not done yet and the next chapter is coming. I know there are a lot of us who want to know what that means, Alan.
Well, I was just sort of generally referring to something I'm very excited about, which is I've agreed to join Karen and her very capable defense team in the civil action. So I'll be coming back to Boston. You haven't seen the last of me yet. And the really good news is I'm going to be bringing Elizabeth Little with me as well. So the band is not just staying together, getting back together, but we're intending on writing a few new chapters.
That legal team, you're the legal team that you have joined.
It's like, I'm coming back to collect some fucking scalps. Now I got Karen out of trouble. And now that we survived, Greg Hill, my supervisor's like, Greg Hill sucks. The hilarious part about this interview, it's a sports radio channel. Yeah, it totally looks like it's a sports show. But hey, this is big there. Yeah, see, Sean, all you got to do is fluff his balls a little bit. Okay. But Alan Jackson's just sitting there and he's just like, sharpening my knives. I'm ready to get more scalps done. So, Alan Jackson's like, I'm coming back for you Massachusetts jack-offs. He's like, you jack-offs are going to suffer. He's coming back. He's like, Safa. He's going to make him suffer, chat.
And has sent subpoenas to the Mass State Police and the Norfolk DA's office, seeking information on witnesses who testified at the trial, on Michael Proctor, and on evidence from the federal investigation. We discussed the federal investigation a lot on this show. From your perspective, in your opinion, did that federal investigation end?
No, I've never heard of such a thing. I know what Mr. Brennan said. I know what the hired gun said in court about being contacted and there being a closure to the case. We weren't contacted. I was never contacted. I've never heard a word of that directly from the horse's mouth. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I can tell you it's not a thing. It's just not Greg, you just don't do that. As a prosecutor, especially a federal prosecutor, you don't look at the target, call the target, and say, "Oh yeah, we're done here." What if something new comes?
Yeah, that never happens. That never happens. I mean, the feds will tell you, though, they will send targeting letters saying, like attorneys can send in a targeting letter saying like, what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, the idea the feds are going to tell you they're done with you, even a state prosecutor. I mean, they're like, they can tell you, yeah, we're not prosecuting this. Like, cause I've had cases before. Hey, I heard Detective so-and-so was looking into something. Are you guys going to present to the grand jury? And the grand jury, the assistant prosecutor in charge of grand jury stuff's like, yeah, I ain't going to do that. There ain't nothing there. That's not binding. That's not binding at all. They could come back 3 weeks later and go, you know what? I thought about it. Fuck it. We're going to run it. We're going to run it and see what happens. So yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful. Nothing ever happened. Okay. No Biscuit is saying, yes, WEEI is Boston Sports Radio, the rival of 95.5, The Hub. It's like, Aaron, are they in a radio war? Like, is Aaron, like, the radio wars like Aaron had? Yes, it's a full sense of security. I've had to tell my client before. Like, I've had clients, so you tell the guy, like, listen, here's how it works. They're not going to prosecute you right now. That doesn't mean you're safe. You're not safe till the statute of limitations is up. I had to tell my client one time, like, you have 5 years. You better pray every fucking day, every night before you go to bed for the next 5 years, pray you don't get indicted. Because they had him fucking dead to rights if they had kicked over the right rock. And it still can happen for this client. If they kick over the right set of rocks in the right order, they will find what they need. But the longer this goes, the less likely they're going to worry about it. So, yeah, I want to see the boat movie. Which boat movie? Yes, this Chad Zumock's Rifles. Yes, at 100.7 WMMS. Wawa Supervisor saying Greg Hill was a shock jock in the 90s alongside Opie and Anthony at WAAF. He was told to do morning garbage radio on EEI or get the fuck out. Okay. Doing the middle of cornrows is former Patriot Jermaine Wiggins. Really? Wow, that's kind of cool. Thank you. Let's get back to this.
Up tomorrow, next week, or next month, and you're within the statute. You don't, quote unquote, close investigations. So that's something that I'd never heard of. And I no, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a quote unquote closed investigation. They can say whatever they want over at the Norfolk DA's office. I'm sure that was a curated comment or a series of comments, but I'll leave it to the feds to do what the feds do best, and that is to investigate. And that's exactly what I think is continuing to happen. But that's just my opinion.
Speaking of the DA's office, should the taxpayers in this state be concerned with how much was spent on both of these trials?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, this is that. I mean, the DA's office serves at the pleasure of the public.
Yes.
He's an elected official, and he's got responsibility to the public for their confidence and to their pocketbooks. I have no idea how much they spent. I know how much we spent, and I can imagine they spent as much or more. I mean, there were millions and millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer money spent that was completely unnecessary because of a persecution, not a prosecution, because of some sort of a personal vendetta. After the first trial, everybody knew what had happened inside that jury room, inside that deliberation room. She was acquitted. I've talked about this, the fact that Karen and I and our team may be the only attorney-client relationship where we've actually acquitted someone of murder twice in the same case with the same charges. They knew that they couldn't prove this case coming out of the first trial. They knew they couldn't prove the case going into the first trial, and that they pressed forward. And then, of course, following the debacle of the first trial and the joke that was the unrecorded verdict, they forged ahead again. And it was it turned from a professional objective prosecution of a case to a personal vendetta, and it cost the taxpayers millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, just their special prosecutor alone, his bill was north of $500,000, closing in on $600,000, just him, for a completely failed prosecution.
Which is odd. You worked in the DA's office in Los Angeles as an ADA.
Yeah.
You have perfectly capable ADAs who could have tried this case and it wouldn't cost you $600,000, correct? That's normally the way it
of
goes.
course.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Yes, they brought in outside people because for some reason, we still don't understand. Did Michael Morrissey owe Hank Brennan money or what? Like, it still does not make sense why they brought him in.
normally the way it goes. And if Michael Morrissey didn't have those kinds of prosecutors who could try the case capably, then maybe he needs to find another job. That's his only job, is to populate the courtrooms with people who are competent, not just competent, but ethical. I don't know, maybe there were some ethical prosecutors inside that office who said, not just, I can't. They probably could have prosecuted the case. It's just a matter of calling witnesses and doing an opening and closing statement, putting on some evidence. I think they had prosecutors who said they wouldn't because it's unethical. They didn't believe in it. So what does he do? He goes outside the parameters of the contours of his office and finds some defense attorney.
And he's true. Your job as the elected official is to ensure justice is done, and you supervise your assistant district attorneys, your assistant prosecutors, your assistant state's attorneys, assistant commonwealth's attorneys, whatever they are. Your job is you're a supervisor. Now, there are cases where you'll jump in and help try them, like high profile stuff. But for the most part, you let your people run the cases. And you're there to help them and support them.
To come on board and switch hats midstream and become a prosecutor, it's outrageous. You just don't see this kind of thing.
Alan, I was so impressed with how you and your team were able to handle the first trial and the second trial, but it did feel so drastically different, the way in which you decided to handle witnesses. And the first trial seemed like there was just bombshell after bombshell. It was much more McAlbert's heavy, while the second trial was much more database. What went into the decision to kind of switch things up and choose to go down that road at the second time around?
There wasn't a marked difference in what our theme and theory of the case was. As a matter of fact, there was no difference in what our theme and theory of the case was, which is the SUV never hit John. He wasn't killed by being hit by a car. That's the basic postulate. In the second trial, it was very clear that the prosecution was going to do something different. They were going to try to style themselves as a data-driven prosecution. We knew that the data helped us. So any trial lawyer has to do this. You have to be committed to your cause, but you also have to be able to be up on the balls of your feet. You have to be able to be nimble and pivot with the prosecution, because you're not just parrying, you're defending, but you're also, to a certain degree, you're on the offense as well. So what we decided to do was shift and learn from the first trial. But I wanted to press much harder on reasonable doubt and undermining everything they say about the data, because the data actually served our purposes. The data proved that the car did not hit, it did not collide with John O'Keefe. And so that's what you saw in the second trial, is a much more sort of tactical approach. They didn't call certain witnesses. They didn't call Brian Higgins. They didn't call Brian Albert. There were big witnesses that they just forwent altogether. We knew that there was a chance they would do that. We didn't know until they closed their case who they were and weren't going to call. They didn't have to tell us in advance what their trial strategy was. But we were ready and able to sort of pivot on the move to not just defend against what they were presenting data-wise, but to attack them for not calling people like, I don't know, how about Michael Proctor, the lead investigator on whose shoulders you base the entire prosecution, and you don't call him. So we knew that there was going to be some shifts, and part of being a good trial lawyer is to be able to make those shifts sort of on the fly, and that's what we did. And we did it with Karen's approval and with the rest of the team's approval.
Speaking of Michael Proctor, he has had a civil service hearing yesterday trying to get his job back, saying that suggestion is that he was not treated like other troopers. Does he deserve to be a trooper in Massachusetts?
Oh my God! No, please tell me they're not going to give him his job back. He's claiming he wasn't treated like other troopers. Well, then act like other troopers. Don't do what you did.
If he wasn't treated like other troopers, is that Michael Proctor saying, "Hey, look, we're all a bunch of crooked pieces of shit. I just happen to get caught. Why aren't they in trouble?" I mean, that's probably what he's saying ultimately. Wait, you guys are all dirty too. Well, Proctor, tell us all about it. Name some names.
Which is to take your trooper's hat off and to become a sort of a sideshow. This guy had so many biases going into the case. I mean, it was embarrassing. I don't need to go into, and I won't go into all the details of what he did, not just to the investigation, but to Karen Reed personally, just dehumanizing her, maintaining relationships with the people that he should have been investigating, the very people he should have been investigating. No. Look, to be a sworn officer and to take on the mantle of the protection of the community. That is a privilege, Greg and Courtney. That's a privilege. That is not a right. And he squandered that privilege with bias and a lack of objectivity and lying through his teeth about his own relationships, about dehumanizing with conduct that was dehumanizing of the person he was supposed to objectively be investigating. No, he's lost all his right to carry a badge and a gun. He's an embarrassment. He should never, ever, ever be in a position to control the community members that he serves. And that's exactly what being a police officer allows you to do. It's a lot of power, and he's not someone who should ever be commissioned with that power ever again.
Alan, you discussed objectivity. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss Judge Bev?
Oh my God, that's a whopper. If I go the rest of my life and never have to walk into a room with Judge Bev, God bless her, it'll be too soon. Yeah. And by the way, that's the other thing is, I don't have to say it. I was right there in the mix. I was in the fishbowl. I was wondering if others were clocking what I was seeing. Sometimes you're so far in it, it's like a fish that doesn't know it's wet. I wasn't sure if others were seeing what I was seeing inside that courtroom, but a judge's job is to absolutely be unbiased, to put all of the biases aside. Everybody comes into life in any situation with certain biases. The job of a judge is to put those biases aside. And she showed very, very quickly and undeniably that she could not and would not do that. There were rampant biases in favor of the prosecution, in favor of the Commonwealth, in favor of Mr. Lally and Ms. McLaughlin, in favor of Mr. Brennan once he took over, and against the defense from nearly day one, nearly from the moment I walked into court the first time on September 25th, 2022. So no, there was a breakdown of the entire system, and she was part of it.
Oh, biatch! Like, he ain't fucking holding back. Good for him. Good for him. Not holding back. Good for him on not holding back on this. Also, are you guys commenting? Because I can't get my. Hold on, chat. I need to refresh my chat is not working here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Can you guys? Aaron, are we still live? Because I don't. The chat's not working at all right now, so I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I guess we'll keep going for a minute. You guys are still here.
Do you believe that there was a conspiracy to frame Karen Read, or we debated this a lot on this show with Curtis, or do you think it was just awful investigative work?
It's a combination of both, for sure, in my opinion. A combination of both. It was an awful investigative work, but it wasn't just incompetence. It went beyond just incompetence. You could read in Michael Proctor's text messages that it wasn't just incompetence. He had a view of her. He had a thought process about her
Trenton.
from nearly day one, right? 16 hours into the investigation, he was already determining that he was going to make sure that it was going to get pinned on the girl. She's going to pay for this. Right? He said it out loud. He said the quiet part out loud. So it's not just incompetence. So now once you go beyond, outside the parameters of just incompetence and being stupid, which there was a lot of idiots involved in the investigation as well. Once you go beyond those parameters, now you start getting into the very troubling area of a cover-up.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, we know that tragically, an officer has lost his life. And we also know that we're going to pin it on this girl. So what does that mean by definition, Greg? What does that mean by definition? It means that you're going to cover up what actually did happen. You're going to actively cover up who's responsible. And lo and behold, isn't it amazing that the person that's supposed to be investigating is connected to and related to, and with personal relationships, to the very people that should have been number 1, number 2, number 3 on the suspect list. So you tell me.
Yeah, and remember, Proctor was friends with the McCabe's. They all hung out together. They all barbecues and jerked around. Yeah. No, that's perfectly normal for Massachusetts.
Is Karen Read framed?
Alan, since the
Absolute
second trial,
garbage.
there have been videos, photos making their way around social media of inside 34 Fairview. It seems like the new owners let you guys inside, whether you were down in the basement looking at the flooring that was pulled up inside the garage.
Right.
There was a video of you outside yelling, and from the Albert's bedroom, you could hear yourself pretty clearly. Will there be any type of I know that you guys have signed on for different media rights. Will there be any type of way to dive deeper into that? Will that come up in anything?
Well, the pain point that the plaintiffs are going to have in their civil suit is this is a very different lawsuit. It's not a criminal lawsuit, and it's certainly not being governed by Judge Beverly Cannoni, who kept out so much of that information. That's why you're seeing it on social media rather than having seen it in the courtroom. All of it was relevant. We attempted to get most of it in, and we were denied, both in the first trial and the second trial. So this new lawsuit is probably a very good platform, I'd say, I would suggest to you, for a lot of that information to be aired out and aired out completely. So yeah, I don't. That's not the last you're going to see of that information.
Just
that and a lot of other information.
To be clear, when you said this new lawsuit is, so you're joining her civil defense team to defend against the wrongful death suit. Are you also? Correct. Is Karen also planning a federal lawsuit on this case?
So that's a interesting question, not one that I'm willing to talk about right now. But we have a lawsuit.
Can I remind you? I remind you, you're under oath.
Counselor, I object. I move to strike that comment from the record immediately.
Also, I offered countless legal strategies during the trial to Alan. Didn't use a single one of them. I just want to make that clear right now.
Boo! Is that Opie and Anthony car crash sound effect? Like, come on, man. But no, Karen's got time to make her plays, and she'll make her plays. You'll know when she moves because you'll see the fucking smoke from when she lights something on fire. That's all Alan should be saying. You'll know when we move.
I think Alan needs your help.
I've seen carnival psychics with a better track record than Greg when it comes to legal prowess. I'm just suggesting maybe not. Greg, we'll see what this new lawsuit entails. I can tell you this. I can say this. Karen has proved herself to be a fighter. She's not going to sit back in a corner and get punched. Right? Everybody has a plan. I would suggest the following: everybody has a plan, as the old saying goes, that Mike Tyson made famous, until they get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
And Karen Reed has shown that she knows how to hit others in the mouth, meaning how to fight back.
Thank you, Easy.
I doubt seriously she's going to be a wallflower during the course of this new litigation. So whatever that means, we'll see.
Okay. Alan, I know you're probably got something else to do this morning than talk to us. I just am so curious about the period between the trials. As someone who's, I don't understand,
like their
I've
producer
never
or something.
studied law. Is there?
This is like their producer or some shit. Okay. But no, Alan's right. He's like, you'll know when we do. And Karen has demonstrated. I'm sure this has given her all kinds of I survived the trial and I helped survive the trial. I'm sure Karen feels like she's fucking indestructible right now. She probably feels like Alexander after the battle of the River Issus. It's like, I'm just on a fucking roll.
Any prerequisite, or is there any onus on the Norfolk County DA to prove either new information, or how did you go from the ending and the conclusion of the mistrial into the beginning of the next trial?
Mm-hmm.
What was that process like, and what did the state have to do?
That's a great question. The state has an ongoing obligation, to ensure that they do not ever present a case in front of a jury that they do not believe can be proved beyond any and all reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 objective community members. All right, that's the postulate, right? That's the baseline. They have an ongoing obligation.
Well, I mean, that's okay. So, the state has that obligation. That's not correct. Even in Massachusetts, the Bar to Board overseers. So this is let me see here. Let me see here, because I need to bring it up so you guys can see. This is Rule 3.8 of the rules of professional conduct for a prosecutor. This is Rule 3.8 is the same all over the country. It's also the ABA rules, amended as of April 1st, 2016. Okay. So while he says it's, how is Alan Jackson phrasing this? The state has an obligation, and we'll bring this back real quick.
Obligation to ensure that they do not ever present a case in front of a jury that they do not believe can be proved beyond any and all reasonable doubt to a jury.
That's not true. That's not a correct statement of law. What is the duties of a prosecutor? And they have special responsibilities. They have their own unique responsibilities, guys. So what do? They have to refrain from prosecuting when they lack a good faith belief that probable cause to support the charges exists, and refrain from threatening to prosecute a charge where the prosecutor lacks a good faith belief that probable cause to support the charge exists or could be developed. That's it. That's it, you guys. The standard they need to prosecute is probable cause only. They don't have to believe it beyond a reasonable doubt. It's probable cause only. Guys, that's not very high. That's not high at all. So I say that doesn't mean that's basically nothing. And you would be 100% correct, chat. And the way I explain it to people, you come into my office, or if we're sitting in the jail, like, here's how you can explain that. How much is reasonable? How much is probable cause? Not that much, chat. Not that much. So you have your burdens, okay? You have beyond reasonable doubt, okay? Actually, yeah, we need to erase that. So here's what you can do. Here's 100% certain. And down here at the bottom is 0% certain. Okay? So 0% right here. This is 0%. It's the base. It's the bottom. It's as low as you can get. 100. Tip of the top. You are the top of the pops. All right? You're right here. It's all right there. Okay. So what are we going to say beyond reasonable doubt is? Let's say that's like, I like to say that's like 85, 90%. I say closer to 90%. Okay. 90%. All right. And this is beyond reasonable doubt. You're about as sure as you can get. All right. We'll just say it's 90% for right now. You got 50%. This is 50%. Okay, well, what's 50%? This is preponderance of the evidence, meaning more likely than not. Like, that's all you have to do. You have to tip the scales to 51%. Okay? No, why did I say it's 50? It's 51. Sorry. It's 51% to 49. Okay? Then there's kind of like a little bit further up. There's clear and convincing evidence. And that's like 66% sure. All right? Those are your burdens of proof. Okay. Then you get all the way down to here. Like 25% sure. Not very sure at all. Guess what's 25% sure? Yeah. Guess what's 25% sure? Probable cause. That's all he's got to be. He's only got to be 25% sure. He's only got to be 25% sure. So there you go. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. Doesn't take much, guys. You only have to have probable cause to get over the hurdle. So there you go. That's why Alan Jackson says that it's beyond a reasonable doubt. No, it's not. Not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. And it gets even better from there, though. Because when you look at B, you make reasonable efforts to ensure the accused has been advised of the right to and procedure for obtaining counsel. Is given opportunity to get counsel. Okay, you're like, that's pretty obvious, no big deal. Not seek to obtain from an unrepresented counsel a waiver of important rights. Unless a court tells that person about the rights. Okay. Sounds fair. Sounds fair. But this one's the best. Make timely disclosure to defense of all evidence or information known to the prosecutor that tends to negate the guilt of the accused or mitigates the offense, and in connection with sentencing, disclose to the defense of the tribunal all unprivileged mitigating information known to the prosecutor. Wow, apparently they can't do this one in Norfolk County. This one doesn't exist. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. That's the only ethical burden they have. That's the only ethical burden they have, you guys. So when he says that, this is not correct. This is not a correct statement of law or ethics.
Next trial, what was that process like, and what did the state have to do?
That's a great question. The state has an obligation, an ongoing obligation, to ensure that they do not ever present a case in front of a jury that they do not believe can be proved beyond any and all reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 objective community members. All right, that's the postulate, right? That's the baseline. They have an ongoing obligation to establish. That's the ethics of a prosecutor. You cannot just prosecute a case because it sits on your desk. You have to be convinced as a prosecutor, as an ethical prosecutor, that you can prove the case, prove all the elements of all the charges beyond any and all reasonable doubt to a jury, an independent jury. So after the first trial, it was our thought, there's no way that these folks are going to come back to the drawing board and say, oh yeah, we're going to do this again. It was nearly 4 months the first time, 3 months and a few days the first time. It ended with, very famously now, it ended with acquittals that were not recorded. Of course, the DA's office is going to go back, sit down at their desk, take a deep breath and realize, hey, you know what, guys and gals, we did the best we could. We put this case forward the first time, didn't work out. It's not going to work out any better. We don't have any new and different evidence.
Now that said, though, I will just say, just because some of you in chat, I think might be wondering, I fully agree with them. That should be the standard. Do you think you can get a conviction? If you can't, you shouldn't be trying it. But the model rules are very light on prosecutors, which is pretty pathetic, personally.
It's going to be the exact same thing the second time. It's going to cost the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. We're going to take the loss and walk away.
Yes, I can see you guys.
Thing to do. That's the conversation they never had. What Michael Morrissey conversely did is he goes back to the drawing board and says, who can I hire outside the office who's willing to take this piece of garbage lawsuit?
Oh God, he almost said piece
nobody
of
in the
shit
office?
there.
I'll just go pay someone. I'll literally, it's offensive. It's offensive. I'm just going to go write someone a big enough check, basically bribe someone to come on board with a big check and prosecute the case that nobody else in the office can or will do. So what happened between the first and second trial is offensive. It never should have happened, and it was a complete abrogation of their obligations, and it's in keeping with Michael Morrissey's entire tenure as the DA. It's a fiefdom. He runs that like a lord and his manor. He doesn't run it like a public official. He's a disgrace.
Oh.
He's an absolute disgrace.
Oh,
How deep do you think the if you consider this to be corruption, how deep do you think it goes here in Massachusetts?
To its core. And that when I say that, I don't mean that every
Ow.
single Massachusetts State police officer is corrupt. Not by a long shot. Most of them are hardworking men and women who get up every day and do
fucking shots fired at Michael Morrissey there. Oh, goddamn. Absolutely savage by Alan Jackson. Absolutely savage.
the job that would strike fear in the rest of us, right? They run toward the danger. They run toward the bullets and the fire and the fights and those things. I have the deepest admiration for the lion's share of the men and women who do that job. I also have a deep admiration for the lion's share of the prosecutors who populate courtrooms around Massachusetts. But what I've seen during my time in Massachusetts, it hasn't been all that long, a few years, going on 4 years now, working in Massachusetts pretty regularly. It's not a couple of cops. It's not just a couple of cops. What are the odds that you would get a a Proctor and a Buchanan and a Tully and these folks that have all been disciplined, Kevin Albert, who have been disciplined, some of them have been fired. Almost all of them have been removed from their positions in one case. What are the odds? The odds are almost zero unless the corruption goes extremely deep, unless that kind of conduct is rife throughout the community of the Massachusetts State Police. And also, it doesn't just go deep, it goes high. Michael Morrissey is at the top of that list. He knows better. He damn well knows better. He's a political hack who knows better. And all he cares about is his next election. That's all he gives a crap about, which is offensive.
Were you surprised to see Commissioner Cox say that he had no idea that Kelly Deaver was even involved in the Karen Reed case?
How he went beyond that, Greg. He actually said, "I've never said the name Karen Reed. That name has never crossed my lips. I've never talked about her or talked about this case." Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? One of your officers was fallen. One of your cops was found dead on a lawn.
Yes.
Of one of your cops.
I find it hard to believe he didn't know about it.
The third leg of that stool is one of your cops is central to the case, dealing with not just one of your officers who's dead, but on the central piece of that puzzle is it happened on one of your officers' lawns. And you're telling me you've never said the name, you don't know the name Karen Reed, you've never heard of this case, you don't know anything about it? Well, either you're incompetent or you're lying, one of the two. And now that you're saying that conversation with Kelly Deaver, however she wants to pronounce it, never took place, are you kidding me?
Yeah, she's still on leave.
That tells you one of two things is true. Either you're lying, Commissioner Cox, or you've just proved my point that she's a liar. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Well, Alan, you did have a good officer on the stand, though, for you guys, and Officer Barros. And in my opinion, watching that unfold, I think he's the reason, one of the main reasons that the jury swayed in your direction. I mean, he seemed like he was almost a smoking gun.
Nick Barros is a hero, no question. Like I said, most of the men and women carrying a badge and carrying a gun do God's work every single day, and he's among those. He is an absolute hero. He was willing to step up. There was no thin blue line. That's not the cloth from which he's cut. He doesn't care about those kinds of things. He's going to tell the truth because that's what he does. It's what he saw. It's what he heard. Whatever that is, that's what he's going to testify about, and that's what he did. He had the guts to get up on the witness stand and tell the jurors exactly what he saw, and what he saw was, and what he established was that taillight was not broken, not completely smashed out when Michael Proctor first got a hold of that truck. It did not look like it did after he got a hold of it and after all those taillight pieces were found at 34 Fairview. That tells the jury all they need to know about the condition of the taillight and what Michael Proctor and his people were doing with that car.
Alan, who is in the running to play you in the movie?
I thought it was you. You and I talked about this, Greg. You said it was you.
You know, I have done some acting.
You're going to have to go to Modern Pastry and just eat there for the whole civil trial for that to work.
Yeah.
He has an IMDb.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the special treatment for the state agents. Yeah, the state would never spend millions on you. I agree. They wouldn't have gone this hard if it was just some random guy. And Sula is correct. The feds only prosecute cases where they know they 100% are going to win because they have all the resources in the world. And Adam is saying nothing will happen. I agree. Nothing's going to fucking happen, sadly. Young and bitter. Well, that's a shame. It's good to see you. Says, I have not yet begun to peak. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So let's keep going here. So what's Alan Jackson's plan? I don't know. Is he that invested in the Karen Reed case or looking to run for office? Oh, I'm sure he's looking to parlay this into like media and like other revenue streams, certainly. But also I think when you're somebody like him, I mean, here's the thing. You just won, and I think there's the idea of the thrill of the hunt. And what I mean by that is when you know you've got these people on the run, like you've got them on the run, there's something to be said about you want to jump in the fight again and put it to these people. And I think for Alan Jackson, there's some of that. Some of that is I'm going to do this and I'm going to make money off the Karen Reed story and all that. Great. But now I'm here to do some fucking justice, and he's in a unique position. He can afford to do this. Alan Jackson's got a lot of money. He got his firm. He's got people who could do work in the firm. Yeah, I think Alan Jackson is in this, because it's a battle worth fighting, and he's in a position where he can fight. So yeah, I mean, there's multiple things going towards this, and yes, to be Flair says, and you will know us by our trail of dead. Yes, we will know. It's a sign of his passing. We will see bodies strewn about amidst the burning wreckage, and we'll know Alan Jackson was here. It'll be a sign of his passing. So, you meant it as a compliment. Yeah, he has loads of charity. Sure. But I think, I don't know. I mean, like, he's not going to run for governor of Massachusetts, but he's going to do what he can. But yeah, after getting fucked around, yeah, they're going to fucking fight. They are ready to fight. After getting jerked around all this time, I think he wants, like I said, it's the thrill of the hunt now. They came at him for years and years now, and now they're out of ammunition. And Alan Jackson's sitting there with a pocket full of grenades. Guess what? He's coming to clear it out. So, yes, Peter Tragos, Lawyer No. Once again, guys, Lawyer No's a great channel. Peter's one of the people I watch, believe it or not. I like the way Peter breaks things down. I appreciate his insight and how he looks at things, especially coming from a guy who does a lot of civil stuff. I mean, Peter and his dad and his firm, man, those guys are fucking nuts deep in getting stuff done. But anyway, he thinks they're going for a 1983 case. Yeah, I could see it. Is that going to get anywhere? I mean, I think they have a problem with qualified immunity, but we'll see where that goes. So Barry Scheck, yes, Barry Scheck made a whole career out of DNA evidence from the OJ trial. He went on to found the Innocence Project. Barry Scheck was the guy who had Dennis Fung, the LA County Crime Lab guy, on the stand for 9 days with DNA evidence in the OJ trial. So, yeah, but Alan Jackson was already big, but yeah, he's on the stage now. And, if you're on the stage, you take advantage of it. When you're out there in the sun, you soak it up. I appreciate Peter's thick Greek hair. Yes. As another thick-haired man to another thick-haired man. Our swarthy Mediterranean our hair. So there we go. Look at that. Look at that chat. The Reaper ain't coming for us yet. Knock on wood. Oh, let's keep going. All right.
Page, not a big deal.
I think there's an undeniable likeness. Come on. Jesus, yeah, I have no idea. Who knows? Right. Danny DeVito, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and it is of interest, I think, that you are now joining that team that will not only defend the civil case with Karen, but also decide whether or not there is a lawsuit to be filed. So, Wiggy, did you have one?
The only question I had for
Alan, Wiggy didn't watch much of the trial. I couldn't get him into it. I tried.
He wants Idris to
no, yeah.
Exactly. Wiggy, I'll take my apologies now, Wiggy.
No, believe me. Listen, the one thing I learned growing up as a kid, always know a defense lawyer. The thing I would just ask is, in this situation, you talked about the money the state spent. Clearly, Karen spent a ton of money. Where does she go to, it's probably impossible for her to get her life back, but where does she go to be able to recoup some of that money to pay you guys off?
Yeah.
Nowhere. There's nowhere to go. No, these guys will make their money on the back end with media. They'll make their money on the back end, but yeah, there's no if nobody cared about the Karen Reed story and there weren't movie deals and shit, you won. Have a nice day. Bye. Sorry you spent all your fucking money. Oops. We thought you were the bad guy. Whoops a doodle.
That's it. I mean, look. First of all, I don't care about the money. I've made it pretty clear in other forums that's not why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. Every once in a while, you have this magnum opus case in front of you as a lawyer.
And yes, every once in a while these will happen. Alan Jackson's in a unique position where he can afford to do this, but also his client can afford to do it. Karen Reed was able to raise all the money necessary. That usually doesn't happen. Even if you're available, your client never has the war chest available. Or, your client may have a war chest available, but you can't afford to do it for free. You don't always get that luxury. Bill's got to get paid. Sally needs her braces. Clyde needs his peens. Speaking of Clyde.
Here, and you better be willing to step up and do the right thing. Look yourself in the mirror and realize at the end of your career, there have been times when people have needed you, people in need that can't do what they want to do and need to do without you, and you're just going to step up. So that's what
you
did.
say
That's
that,
what I did.
Alan. You say that, and people lose their minds. They say, "There's no way this guy's working for free." Think of all the attention that he's gotten out of this. Like, what's your answer to that when people say that?
My answer is that's exactly what's happened. I have not asked for a dime from her because it's cost her life, not just a bank account. It's not, she was not a rich woman to begin with. She was doing just fine. She was doing just fine, and she was certainly better than a lot of folks financially. But she was not a wealthy woman. It cost her everything. It cost her life, her reputation, her job, her profession.
And that's the thing, guys. Like, Karen Reed, had a decent middle class life, but it still wasn't enough. They took everything from her.
Her entire bank account. She had to sell her house. She doesn't have a car. It cost her everything. So what am I going to do? Sit there and
Well, she does have a car, and it's all paid off. It's in the fucking government's hands right now.
Peel off more layers of that onion. If she were to get some sort of reprieve, some sort of financial reprieve, I couldn't live with myself. I could not live with myself. So every once in a while, it's just the right thing to do. So I don't know where she goes to sort of get her life back. She's going to try. She's going to work for it. She's not going to try. She's going to succeed. She will get her life back. She's going to land on her feet. She already has. This is the first step in that process. But I'm not worried about Karen Reed. Karen Reed is as tough as nails. She's as tough as shoe leather, and she's not going to let this get her down. There will be another very, very significant chapter to her life. What that looks like, only time will tell.
I'm gonna lock your number in.
Yeah. You may get a call. You may get a call from Wiggy Al.
Yeah,
I might know somebody. I might need you one day.
I like your pro bono.
Civil trial not live streamed, correct?
Doubtful. No,
Okay.
there hasn't been a request, a media request that I'm aware of, and who knows what the judge would do in that case. But it's very, very unlikely. Very unlikely.
Alan, you're welcome on the show anytime, and look forward to catching up when you get back here in Boston, which became your
You
second.
guys are great. Yeah, keep a bowl of chowder warm for me.
Okay, well, there you go. Anyways, done glazing. Yeah. If Karen stopped paying, could her Lexus be repoed from the Sally port? That would have been fucking hilarious. That the repo man comes sneaking in and fucking steals your car out. It's not evidence tampering. I have a court order to take this car. And then they just fucking oh my God, that'd have been so great. In the middle of the trial, the repo man is just waiting there. Comes, sneaks in with his fucking repo car and fucking just takes off with it. That would be amazing. Did Clyde come in? I don't know. Let me try again. And I got his little Clyde treats here too. Hold on, let's try again real quick. Clyde! Come here, Bubba. Chat wants to see you. Come here, buddy. Come on, Clyde. Come here. Oh, I hear the click-clacks now. Yeah. Hi, Bubba Bear. Come here. Hey, Clyde. Hey. Come here. Oh, hey. How you doing, Meyer? Bubba Bear is here. Yes. Even Clyde's like, this is a garbage trial. Clyde is not happy with it. Did Louie the dog go home today? Yes, he did. He 100% did. So, and guys, just for you guys tonight, here you go, chat. You have met the goal. And what do we do by meeting the goal? By being based. Here you go. You got some dog ASMR. Yes. Is Clyde mad for being exiled earlier? I don't know. You go have to ask 2.0 about that. You have to go ask 2.0 about that. So, yes, Maddie B says go to potentiallycriminal.com/sandwich to play the updated Clyde game. We're going to play that here in a second, chat. It's a gaming stream now. You're getting the best of, you're getting Hannah Montana quality content, chat. You're getting the best of both worlds. We got a dog. We're going to have some gaming, and we got some law. It's like everything. You're getting everything here. Yeah, her car has low mileage. Yes. 100%. Aaron says, I ordered these treats for my dogs. Yep. From Kimbo. These are Shih Tzu prestige breed vitamins. But yes, Louie went home this evening. 2.0 had to, like, that picture from Clyde. She locked Clyde in the office while she took Louie outside to go to the car. So, but yes, 2.0 still locked Clyde in an office. She treated Clyde like he was Sonny. That's not acceptable, chat. Tell her. Let 2.0 know that's not acceptable. I had to take a picture of him, and then I liberated Clyde. I liberated him from this. And he's like, ooh, yes. Yes. So, Barton Bella says a Houthi terrorist just filmed himself walking around with a gun, blaming Ethan Klein for making sure he couldn't get a visa. Based. She had to buy the car because it was cheaper than the lease. Yeah. And they were going to penalize her for not having the car anymore. So was Karen forced to keep paying on the car? Yes. Yep. She had to keep making payments. So yes, Clyde has eaten 2 whole peas in the last few hours. Yes. Bella says, wait, there's a correction. Half Irish says, free Chewy. How do you know about that? How do you know about that? Did you tell people? Nobody's supposed to know. Weezy says that was a chat issue happening on other YouTube channels. Huh. And then Wawa Supervisor says, Greg Hill. If you guys are never on the East Coast, Wawa is actually pretty cool. Not as good as Buc-ee's, but it's still cool. And it's like Sheetz. Greg Hill has not always had that lisp. He burned his mouth trying to eat a baked potato. Hey, as a big fat guy, I get it. I was blessed enough not to have like my neck as big as my head, like he and some other big fat dudes have. So I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky in that regard. A cool channel name says, are police contractually obligated to have a concern for your welfare? No, and they're not. No, the police have an obligation to protect society as a whole. That is throughout multiple cases that have never been to the Supreme Court, but have been to various levels of appellate courts. There are very famous ones. I talked about this in my one of my legal papers I wrote when I was in law school. Like, there's a famous cases like Rizzo versus the city of New York. This lady, my boyfriend's gonna kill me. He's gonna hurt me. And the cops are like, should probably buy a fucking gun. This is like in the 70s. And he fucking attacks her and throws acid on her face and mutilates her and deforms her face. And she's sued. And the courts are like, they don't have a job to protect you. There's another case out of Washington, D.C. where these women got attacked. Like, guys broke into her home, started raping her for hours on end. And then her friends showed up and they kidnapped her and started raping the shit out of her too. And like, people had called 911, said stuff was happening, and the police never showed up. And this is in Washington, D.C. And it got to the D.C. circuit, and they're like, oh, sorry. They don't have a duty to protect you. They have a duty to protect society as a whole, not individual people. So no, there isn't a concern for that. Think of protect and serve as a nice slogan. They don't actually have to do shit. I mean, think about it. The Parkland High School, as kids were getting their fucking heads blown off, that one fucking officer just sat there and cowered behind the barricades. He had a gun. He could have fixed it. He didn't do it. Aaron Hack says, did you watch a Jess Machado interview with Kate Peter? Ooh, girl. She asked the questions. No, I have not seen that. That sounds good. I may watch that at some point. Root Beer Float says, your hair is a cross between Peters and Ian Runkles. Hey, you know what? Hey, somebody has to bridge that gap. Someone has to bridge that gap. Squizguard says, why are the proctologists at the best at gossiping? They have all the insights. They always have the inside scoop. But what do you think, Clyde? Huh? Is that worthy of a woo? That's a funny joke. You get in a woo for that. What would have happened if she stopped paying on her car? I don't know exactly, but I think like it was a problem. She had to pay for it. But basically they're gonna take all her fucking money. I forget what's gonna happen, but it would have been a disaster. Yeah, Uvalde too. Yep. Tech Guy South says, but we live in a society. I know. Isn't that funny? So, Clyde is being such a good dog. Clyde is always a good dog. Wait, did she tell you guys what I did to Chewy? There's a post in a video. Poor Chewy cried to release for the dungeon I locked her in. I didn't mean to, and she had her shit box there to poop in. Being released from the dungeon. This woman. I love you, sweetheart. I get no respect. Get no respect here. Let me tell you. Clyde is stoned as fuck. No, Clyde's just relaxing. He's had a couple of days of high intensity. So, well, anyways, chat, real quick. Shitbox, you realize you didn't get the Katakia. No. Char. Anyways, chat, keeping up with things real quick. It's a, 2.0. It's got me stuff I need to open for my birthday. So here we go. Let's see what this is. I don't know what this is, chat. You need proof of life for Chewy. It's not like I could call her over and go, pss, 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 pss. Ooh, this is I was wondering what this was. Okay. Interesting. Oh, the box got flat, and that's why. Or no, it's meant to be flat, I guess. Oh, okay. It's a master box setup. Okay, so it is a model, the Road to the Rear. And this is for the Wehrmacht. Because if you guys didn't know, the German army was primarily horse-driven throughout World War II. Not just at the end and not just at the beginning. The German army was primarily horse-driven and horse-powered throughout the entire war. So the ideas of the legions of panzers just running along and trucks supporting them, Opel, the Blitz truck supporting. Nope. No, these are not Lego, David. They are models to put together. What size is this? What scale? Doesn't say what scale this is. I do like it's funny because it's a bunch of Germans, and one of the flags on it, Spain. It's in Spanish. It's also in Ukrainian. Ha! The gods smile upon us with irony, chat. But yeah, they the idea that they had, the German army was 80% horse driven. And then, how most of the German army invaded Russia in 1941 on the fucking soles of their boots. They walked all the way to Moscow and back. There wasn't a lot of transport. The German army walked everywhere. So, Augustus says, what do you mean by primarily 80% horse driven? The amount of horses the Germans had, throughout the war is staggering. The amount of horses that got killed. So, yeah, what do I mean by primarily? It pretty much was. How about that as an answer? Oh, hold on, chat. I will.
Chewy lives.
Okay, let me see. Phil, let me hold her.
Yeah, it's okay. Claws.
I'm sure. All right, chat. Here is Chewy. She's alive. I didn't lock her in here. She locked herself in. She closed the door on herself, I'm betting.
I'm pretty sure.
Is she gonna? Can you guys hear her purr? Uh-oh.
Well, now she's having
It's okay, Choo
a
Choo.
little asthma.
Yeah, see, 2.0. See, 2.0 brings her in here and makes it look even sicker for me. So I guess she wants to be down. Ow. Well, there you go. See? Meow. So, yeah. Yes, now you guys have not seen Chewy on screen, like probably back at the beginning with the trial streams, because she would do this
there was a
right here.
There was a Karen Reed stream.
Yeah,
like
but there were for a while she would do this a lot. Way back, like 2002. I'm sorry, 2022.
2002.
Yeah, I'm not talking.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I've been doing it longer than Phil. No. But no, she used to in 2022. She would be on screen a lot like this. So, she's a tortie. Yes, she is retorty very much.
She has lots of tortitude. I might be able to hear her purr.
I don't know if you guys can hold. Can you guys hear her purr? I don't know if you can. You guys saw her with 2.0. Yeah.
Come here.
So.
Come here. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I got her. Can you hear that? There you go. I could hear it. All right. She's just showing the butt. Yeah. Well, some of you guys want that. You guys want that. What was the deal with Cincinnati attack? Did you cover it? No, because it turns out the white people were drunk and fucking around, and then a bunch of people, black folks, stomped the shit out of them. It's like, don't get drunk and can start a fight, man. People will knock your boots off for that. So be careful. It looks like there was also a reverse attack where some white people went black people hunting, but anyways, hold on here, chat. Yeah, so Chewy. My cat's like, wait, she left me here. Cat's like, fuck you, fat man. No, see, cat's still alive. She locked herself in here. She's growling loud, yeah. Let's see here. What else did I miss? Do they kill any mice? No. They don't kill mice. They don't kill things generally. Chewy doesn't kill stuff, and like every once in a while she'll bring things into the house, like a bird. It's still alive. That hasn't happened this year, but like last year we had like 2 or 3 birds they drug in the house who were still alive, and they just played with them. And then the bird's freaking out trying to fly out of the house. So, was she hissing? No. Oh, no. When she hisses, she's like she gives you a warning when she hisses. So, Everett Scott says the funny thing is we have the German propaganda. Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing in World War II. All that footage of the German army, that's all from the propaganda videos. So, like, yeah. Snoop says the German army in World War II is Panzerfaust, Schwagen. Sean is mostly retarded. Yeah, there were German units that were entirely mechanized, but most German soldiers didn't ride around in fucking trucks. Most German soldiers had foot power. And they used horses for everything. Unlike, like the U.S., like even the Russians. Granted, they had a bunch of Studebaker trucks, but yeah, no, like it's no. The Germans were horse powered. There's no questioning that. It's one of the reasons why they lost the war. They didn't have the the industrial output that was necessary. So, let's see here. Let's see here. Where is? Yeah, Big Balls got attacked. Yes, one of Elon Musk's Doge guys got attacked after some urban youth attacked a AmeriCorps person out on the streets. How many animals do we have? 2 cats and 2 dogs. Bella says those guys in Cincinnati didn't deserve the beatdowns they had, but they drunkenly attacked the same group of 4 black musicians twice. But here's the problem. When you start causing fucking problems, people are going to fucking regulate your ass. And you know what? They may overreact, but when you buy the tickets, you're along for the ride. So that's why you don't go act like a fool, because somebody may beat the brakes off your ass. That's why you're careful. That's why you're careful. Sakai says she thinks you're starving. Well, no, why would she? Well, they don't kill it. They bring in toys. Give us a pro-segregation speech like Meme did this morning. I'll leave that to him. To be Flair says, I was late to the stream. Will somebody tell me what happened at the HR hearing today with Nick and Aaron? I haven't read the Kiwi Farms thread yet. Nothing happened. It's all continued to August 29th. Nothing happened today. So, am I condoning the violence? No, but I'm just like, it's like people getting attacked by fucking grizzly bears, like that guy, the grizzly man. I don't fucking feel bad for you. Like you went out and caused a fucking problem, and the problem found you. You know, like, am I supposed to be mad when, like, mad at the train when somebody stands in front of it and gets run over? No. Shit happens. Don't stand in front of a train. So. What about that one native who became something the guy, the crow war leader, because he's the last guy to steal a horse from the enemy and Count Coup and all that. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, now it's August 29th. Yes. So, what kind of train are we talking about here, Foamer? You guys are awful. So, yes, the Germans won early because they were mechanized. The French were more mechanized than the Germans. What does that mean then? The French army had the concept of the armored cavalry regiment. The way the French army had structured their armor units, especially their lighter armor units, with the ability and flexibility, if they were given the actual work, like, they would actually been able to fight the Germans. Like, de Gaulle led a counterattack at Arras that, had he been able to press and they could consolidate, would have actually drastically changed the German invasion of France. So no, just the Germans were not very mechanized. They were poorly mechanized. The French were far more mechanized than they were. Let's see here. Don't say in front of the train, sir. Oh yeah, Joseph Medicine Crow. Okay, that's the guy's name. So, Vaca says French armor was shit. Not really. Wasn't much better than like Panzer 1s and 2s. You know, the 38Ts. Like the German, like they would have been able to do well with what they had if they were used properly. There's a called well, God, what's the name of the book now? Case Red: The Collapse of France by Robert Forsyth. It's actually a very good book, guys. I highly recommend it if you want to learn about how things went in France. It's a very good book because it breaks it down into two parts. Up to the channel and the halt, when they make the halt, and then after that. And it's very, very interesting. It's very well done. So, I should watch Girls on Panzer. I have watched it before. Yes, I have watched it. Like I said, I've watched some anime, not a ton, but I watched a bunch. Like the Girls in Panzer, yes. Then there's that fucking what's it? Hold on here. Hold on here. What is the hold on here. Let me see here. Jormungand PO. I've watched some of that just because there's a lot of some of the gunfights and shit between Casper's team and the SR unit commandos shit. Like some of that's pretty cool. Some of that's pretty good. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, the biggest thing the French had was not only the lack of radios in their tanks, but the lack of there were still generals who didn't have phones in their command units, and that the phones, officers in, the general gives a command, the officer has to go find a house with a telephone and find somebody and relay the order. The refusal of the French high command to embrace radios and phones and wireless communication is what fucked them over ultimately. Because by the time they made a decision, the Germans had already moved on, and it didn't matter anymore. So, County Death Squad says Josh Moon is seething right now. Why? Why? Did we say something about cheese? Oh, yes. Radio was the biggest difference. Let's see here. Where is J-Rock says they also ran on the Maginot Line. That was intended. The French knew they were going to do that. That was the intent. The Maginot Line worked as intended. So the French knew the danger of smartphones well before their time. Well, you like anime, you're now an enemy to church. No, I don't like all anime. I like some. Some of those shows are kind of neat, but I don't watch all of it. Radio, the retarded black guy. Yes, that's why the Germans won in France. They had the retarded black guy sitting on the back of their tanks. And he's just he's, picked up the footballs. Oh, did we besmirch Pizza Day? No, Pizza Day is always important. All right, chat. I think we're all caught up on everything here. Oh, David from LS says Lego. Yes, we'll be doing Legos later this month, but no, those are models. John Coleman for $2 also says, Sean, has the Baldo arrived yet? No, it will never arrive. That and the Sonotube medallion will never set foot in this house. And I'm not joking with the Sonotube medallion. I will call the Exorcist from pretty sure there's, hold on here. Cleveland Diocese Exorcist. Is there an exorcist in the Cleveland Diocese? Yeah, where is let's see here. Yeah, I don't see clergy directory for this. No, I don't see it. I'm sure they've got somebody, or I can get an exorcist, but I will give the medallion to an exorcist. I will not touch it if they have to. What's the schedule this week, Sean? Well, tomorrow we're going to go over some stuff with the Ethan Klein case. I think Ethan, Casey Tron and Denham's lawyer committed a massive ethics violation because they have these same attorneys are representing two clients. I think there's a lot of problems there. Also, apparently Frogan didn't default. But that's some stuff we're going to talk about tomorrow night on Members Only. I'm going to start doing some cases and different things for the members. And tomorrow night, chat, we're going to talk about a unique case. It is a flight instructor who is he's a federally licensed pilot, which you have to be. You have to have your FAA certs. He lost his FAA certs. Why? Because he was a really shitty pilot and he caused accidents, multiple accidents. So they took his cert away. He was also an instructor and they didn't take his instructor cert away. And they told him, but you're not allowed to fly. He kept flying. He kept training people and he killed someone. And now he's facing a federal court case because of killing that man using his bullshit certs. We're going to cover that tomorrow night on the Members Only. That should be a lot of fun. I've been reached out to Mindset legal mindset, we are going to try to work on something there where we can kind of get on together and talk about like Denham's and Frogan and Ethan Klein going forward. And then I did make contact with Turtle Boy. We're going to figure out a time here coming up. So that'll be fun. So that's kind of the schedule. Not only Turtle Boy this week, but sometime in the future. Stephen Cooper says, have you seen Armor Tech's 1/6 armor models? No, and I don't know where the hell I would put one of those. I have to build that in my garage. Jen says there's an exorcist in Toledo. Yeah, 1/6 sounds pretty big. It's huge. Let's see. What do you think about UPS offering drivers cash to walk away from their jobs? I haven't heard of this. Are the teams just going to have a field day? Maybe, but I mean, how much are they offering dudes? Because driving the truck, man, if you drive like the fucking brown truck, those dudes are doing well. And then if you do over the road stuff for UPS, that's another Teamster gig. Ooh, buddy, those guys do real good. So, is that the one that got a student killed? Yeah. Yeah. They were flying along and there was a crash and the guy died because he was a shitty instructor. So, do they have 3/5 models? I don't know. Stephen Cooper says the models are also about $6,000. Damn. Yeah. They're offering $1,800 for every year's service. Oh, so they're going after the old timers, guys who got like 30 some years in. Because if you're only a couple years in, that ain't going to be worth shit. But if you're like 25, 30 years in, that actually makes some sense. I mean, like hold on here. I work 1,800 times 25. Like if you've worked for 25 years for UPS, that's like 45 G's in your pocket. Might not be bad. So just early retirement? Well, I'm sure if you've got 10 years in, they'd offer you $18,000 to walk away as well to keep their costs low. Am I going to cover the pilot tomorrow on members only? Yes. And then I'll give it like a week or two and then I'll release it for everybody else to see. But it's an interesting story. But it's members only tomorrow. Then IG 8857 $4.99 says, yeah, Sean. I also heard that they were making lampshades and soap in the camps too. Boomer. Wait, where the hell did that come from? I mean, think about how thin you have to get the skin off of a person to make it into a lampshade. That's pretty impressive. Am I going to cover the Tennessee case where they kept the guy's defibrillator implant active? Yeah. Yep. Yes, I'm going to cover that on Thursday night. So that's an interesting one. So, unlike law student says, it hits close to home, I will skip. Well, sorry, I don't mean to crash into you like that. Let's see here. The fourth dildo has hit the court. Oh no! Yes, we're going to talk about the dildos. And guys, if you're new, there's some of you I think are new. And remember, Thursday nights, we have the Thursday night show. We're going to be talking about the dildo attacks on the WNBA, the redistricting, the gerrymandering that's going on, and why Texas is going to try to arrest Congress or their state legislators. All of that. We're going to cover all that fun stuff tomorrow. I mean, Thursday night. It's only Tuesday. Damn. Thursday night, we're going to cover that. We got all kinds of stuff. We got a lady who basically stole the name and rights to a car dealership after they fucked with her. Like, there's all kinds of fun stuff we're going to be doing. We got the HRO update for the gayest men in Minnesota. Vice City Manny, the YouTuber who killed that guy on live stream because of the copy strikes, they're seeking the death penalty for him. There's all kinds of stuff we're covering. It's going to be Thursday night at 9:30. That's only part of it, chat. It's actually going to be a pretty funny show. And then the amateur iconoclast gifting 1 sub. Let's go. Let's get some support, chat. That is a big freaking support. You guys are amazing. I appreciate that, but that gets you in a woo. That gets you in a woo. The Karen Reed grand jury leaker plea deal. Yeah, we covered the initial plea, but yeah, we'll take a look at that tomorrow if there's anything else to add to it. So, EDW Raptor for one sub. Oh, get, when you guys remember, when you guys are buying, when you guys give subs, this is what you're doing to the Grays. Basically what you're doing. Think of it like in Dune, but it deals with the Grays. Hella says, hey, Sean, I have Gosney coming on tomorrow night at 8 to talk death penalty plea deals. You're welcome if you like. Thank you, Hella. We might be able to work that in there. Guys, Hella over at Excited Utterance going to have the legendary Steve Gosney on. So, guys, give her a look. If you guys aren't going to be available for and the stuff, if you're not interested in what I'm talking about tomorrow, give Hella a look. It'll be great over on Excited Utterance. IG88 says, oh boy, Sean tortures birds. Clip it. Oh. Johan Naxos. Why does it say Dagon Naxos? Like, YouTube has fucked everything up tonight with the names. Gifting 5 subs. Oh, that's another chat. Just keeps on a wall. All right, you guys. So with that said, we are going to go over to real quick here, potentiallycriminal.com/sandwich. And as Maddie B put this together, we are going to take a look. If you guys have not been there yet, this is what Maddie put together. Guys, show him some show him some love. Tell him did a great job here. Why did this? Anyways, so here you go. This is supposed to be me. It's not me. It's AI of me. But anyways, you guys can look around at all kinds of things. Is it my birthday? Not yet. And for 4 days, it will be my birthday. And then, yeah, we got to see if there's any other new comments here. Tech Guy South says, Nick Ricada told me I'd give you a spider for your birthday. Well, thank you. I Take It Good says, happy birthday, you old fat fuck. Thank you. Neo Dark Matter says, I would say happy birthday, Sean, but still isn't sharing the screen to see it. Scott says, he's old. He's gay. And he's old and gray. He's gay. Tech Guy South says, we're going to build a birthday on that land, bish. Bella says, happy birthday. We are so proud of you. Thank you, Bella. Schnauzer Patrol says, love you, especially Clyde and Lane and the cats. Are you getting a sandwich cake? Talk to 2.0 about that. I don't know. And yes, Amateur Clinic Class is correct. I will survive longer than the East German Republic. I will survive longer than East Germany. Shinny says, happiest birthday, blogger. If you build it, they will come. Mexican Vader says, happy day o' birth to our favorite Leighton Gay Foamer. Thank you. HHBL says, happy birthday from the New Zealand-based fruit farming cheesemongers. Well, thank you. Lone Alaskan says, happy birthday, Sandwich King of Northeast Ohio. 40 subs for 40 years. Gary says, happy birthday. Alex says, happy birthday. Well, thank you, guys. And if you keep doing it, that's open there. But we are going to do, real quick, we are going to do, as Maddie B put this together. Hella says, the road to the rear is a gay porno. Sounds like you would know. How do you know that, Hella? We need to get Meme to play this. You guys need to talk to Meme and have him play it. Aaron Hack says, where is this link? It's potentiallycriminal.com. And then if you click around on it, you could find it. If you do potentiallycriminal.com/sandwich, you can get to Chef Clyde's sandwich stack. So here we go, chat. Here we go. Intense gaming with commentary. Like some people who do this, they can't talk while they're working. And Oh, Maddie, the one thing I was going to say is if you could turn the sound on this down just a hair, it's a little loud in my. I didn't know if there's a way to turn it down, but anyways, chat, here we go. Look, Clyde's all dressed up for wrestling. Oh, look at this chat. Bow. Bow, bow. We're just racking it up here. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves here. We're getting Clyde's tax. Oh, yeah, chat. Look at that. Level 2 already. We are dominating. We are just hitting it up here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, guys, you can submit your own birthday messages on that thing there. Matt, well, I saw Maddie's thing there. I'm busy trying to play. Ah! Okay, there we go. I like the hitboxes are better. Thank you, Maddie. And now he's like flying. Anyways, guys, if you go over there, you can leave a message too. But Maddie put the whole thing together. It's been pretty neat. And it links to all kinds of stuff, guys. Enjoy it. Click around. It's a fun time over there. This is a lot easier on the phone because you don't have to make Clyde move as far. Clyde moves a lot easier when you're just swiping with a finger. Let me tell you. I mean, this is a bit rough. It's a lot of movement. On the phone, it's a lot narrower. No. Oh no! No, all the goo! We gotta catch all the goo! We're getting all the baldos, chat. Why is Clyde having all the baldos? No! We're going, chat. We're still going. Broke 100. Broke 100, chat. We are on the way. Yeah, apparently 2.0 got to 1,200, chat. Wow, this is just going and going. It's going faster, it feels like. Oh, no! We're late game. We're too slow, chat. Nothing I could do. Nothing I could do. I don't know why I did that. Okay, chat. It's time to focus. I really need to focus. Ah, we're going to run out of time. No. 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 Ah, damn. But, oh, no, I don't get that click on the thingy anymore. Oh, no. I've been practicing a little bit. It's like I said, when you're on the phone, it's a lot easier. So when you're on the phone, it's not as far. Important question: is Chef Clyde's PB&J toasted or untoasted? We don't. This is man. I've seen most of them. I think. Well, hold on here. We'll go through this again. There's a bunch of characters here, so we'll see what the characters are. Well, there's Clyde as a luchador. Let's see what the other ones are. Still as a luchador. Oh, I didn't see this before. Oh, Clyde's a little space marine. Oh, that's so cute. It's so cute. Okay. Apparently, I gotta get rid of the comment. Clyde was as a space marine. Oh, that was so cute. A star tease. Yes, from the Good Boys Legion. Oh, I'm not. What? He's dressed as a husky? Is that what this is? Whose dog is he supposed to be now? Oh, is it KLF's dog? Okay. Aw. He's dressed as a husky. Let's see what the other ones are real quick. All right. Okay. This is a personal hell I've built for myself. I wish I hadn't refreshed on this one. Of course, I'll catch the Baldo. Why not? No, we're staying away from all the goo as much as we can. It was not intentional goo catching, chat. Not stealing Aaron's job from him. All right. Let's see what the other ones are. I did see Clyde as a spaceman. Look at that. He doesn't even move when it comes to him. All right. So what are the other ones here? Clyde as a dog. Okay. Clyde as a spaceman. Clyde as a chef. Okay. Well, that one, I mean, yeah. There's a doggo. I think that's all of them. I've seen Clyde as the spider. Thank you. I'm glad I'm so glad I'm in this. I'm so glad I'm in this. I think that's everybody, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen this one too. So people are evil. I still think this is fucking hilarious. Oh no, that's so funny. So all right. There's one more. Well, haven't found it. I'll keep looking for it though. If you only had Reuben sandwiches in the DLC, yeah, well, there might be a DLC there. Erica says, I take back the show your clients. Oh. So. Clyde the Fluffy, yeah. If you have to exert more energy doing it on comp compared to phone, then that's the issue you're saying. No, it's a computer screen is wider. The phone screen is narrower. You're traveling less distance. The playing space is far smaller. So it's actually easier to cover the territory because with the finger swipe, you can move even faster. Trust me, I've checked this out. If you go to a computer and try it, you'll understand the issue. So, yeah, does that make Clyde a furry? I know, that's a little weird. So, he's a Malamute. It's Raiden. He's a Malamute. It's all Huskies. It's the same thing. It's like asking me to distinguish between Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. They're all the same thing. Let's see here. Stephen Cooper gifting 10 subs. Thank you. EDW Raptor for 5. You get a couple. You get a couple for that. Brewberry's saying though, is Clyde's PB&J toasted or untoasted? We don't toast PB&Js here in America. You know, you don't make a toasty out of it. You just you eat it with just okay. Well, okay, I guess 2.0 does, but no. Most people just eat their PB&J with just untoasted bread. Eat it raw. It's raw. Just like the lamb. And Johan Knox will say, hey, you cultivated this audience, remember. Yes, I have. You guys are awesome. You guys are so fucking funny. I appreciate it, chat. You guys are so damn funny here. Not Biscuit says, I heard Karen had sex in a church. Is E-Rock available for comment? Was Karen having sex for Sam too? I remember that day. I remember that when they went off the air. And all they just said was your mom's box. Oh, those were the days. Yes, with cold milk. Yes, that is a way to do it. Unlike Lasso's, I used to put butter on my peanut butter and jelly. I've heard people put like peanut butter and butter, but I don't know with jelly. Although to be fair, if you're just like, it's basically toast. You're buttering toast and then you put jam on buttered toast. So yeah, you toast the bread first. I'm like, it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, apparently this was a big debate in your household. Like, I get the idea of like sometimes, but like not every sandwich needs to be toasted. I don't like toasted peanut butter and jelly because it feels like you're making the peanut butter. It's a weird it makes the peanut butter a weird texture with warm bread. Do you butter toast or bread? Yes, I do. I do. Anything about the Billy Wagner trial yet? No, not yet. Not yet. That's like, I don't think they've decided on everything yet. The Court of Appeals still has some of the issues that have not been resolved. So that's just dragging along. That's just dragging along. And remember, that's the part of the Pike County murders. We'll cover Billy Wagner when he goes to trial. Fried peanut butter and PBC is dank. I guess. You know. Bella says, do people from Michigan really put ice in their milk and orange juice? I mean, I could see like putting ice in your orange juice if you like really cold. But the problem is, I mean, you're drinking basically sugar water. So I don't know. I'm not a big orange juice guy. To be Flair says, my teeth can't handle toasted these days. Oh, that sucks. Peanut butter and dill pickle. I've heard people do that. Grape or strawberry? I love strawberry jam or jelly. Although the best is like you can do blackberry. That's the best stuff. That's the good stuff. OJ has shit tons of vitamin C in it. You can get vitamin C other ways, though. The amount of sugar in orange juice is just not good for you, man. Like, just eat an orange. You'll get a lot of vitamin C. Cyanide Cologne says, ice in your milk stops from curdling when you're an alcoholic who passes out drunk. That's all I know ice and milk from. Oh. Yes, I know people who have done peanut butter and Miracle Whip, too. And a piece of lettuce? I mean, you could do it. It's just lettuce, so there's no taste, but I guess it gives you crunch. How's Fudbuster's lawsuit going? I talked about this a little while ago. It's set for 2026. So he had to get a new attorney and things kind of slowed down for a while. And why lettuce? I don't know, but I could see it. It makes sense. Any update on the case in the Kansas where they raided the newspaper? No, I think that's been quiet. I don't know if people are going to get indicted, but I think that kind of just went away. How about Fudbusters? I'm actually trying to talk with Runkle and Matt, see if we can all get together and kind of do a show together. They're in early discovery. They're exchanging interrogatories and other basic discovery information right now. So that's the update on Fudbusters, I can tell you. I'm talking to Matt and seeing what they're submitting. It's fucking hilarious. It is fucking hilarious. So, yes, is the Fudbusters lawsuit still against Cody? Yeah, because Cody's a thieving piece of shit. So, yep, I like Matt too. Would be a great stream to do with Runkle. Yeah, right now Runkle's been kind of like spending time up north in the woods. So, I'll wait till he comes back and he's all settled in. Hopefully he's feeling better too. Runkle's been sick lately, and I hope he's feeling better. Hope he feels better. Miracle my ass, it's nasty. Well, James Reed says, I can't believe that got put off for that long. What? Oh, the 2026? Civil shit takes a long time, man. Civil stuff is put out on a very long timeline. So, that's why. Pickle lemonade is all the rage this summer. That sounds awful. Pickle lemonade sounds disgusting. So, yes, Runkle's been hunting bears with a spear. Yes. Civil litigation is very long. Yes, chat. The timeline for that is very long. And yes, Ian's coverage of the Proven versus the McNally guy is hilarious. Yes. Yes, it is. So, yeah, Runkle's been roasting the Proven locks. Yes, he has. I saw that. I'm like, that is brilliant, that whole saga, the way it's going. So, To be fair, says COVID fucked up a lot of civil case trial dates. So many postponements. Yeah, but most of that's been worked out by now. That's the thing. Most of that's already done. Like COVID really jammed up the court system, but like by 2023, most of it was fixed. Courts got back on track pretty quick. They couldn't afford to keep staying bogged down. And courts were able to catch up, and actually we're back up to pretty normal speed now. But courts have been also able to take advantage of things like more and more courts do video stuff now. So like the pace of courts is actually good. You had a civil case go 5 years and a probate that went 6. I totally could see that. Yes. Yes. It sounded like has a whole pick. I know about the pickle menu. Yes. Phil scammed his people for like $300 to eat pickles. Yes, I know. The whole pickles thing. Yes. I am aware of I didn't realize we were making like the Dark Side Phil joke here, but yes. Sonic does have a whole pickle menu. Oh, unlike last year, so that was before COVID too. I could totally see that. Meme Copium, friend of the show. Also, I got them subs for you, memer. Saying Japan has the whole pickle pizza right now craze at the moment. Really? They're like, yes, we like our pickles all over our pizzas. Interesting. That is interesting. They love yeah, meme. We got a game for you to play. Down here at this thing for Giggy next time. Instead of dinos, we need you to play this. You got to play the sandwich stacking game where you get to play as my doggo. And you come in here and you play it, and there's sound to it, but we're not gonna watch the sound real quick. But you get to play as Clyde, and you have to help him make sandwiches for the fat man. And you have to help collect all the sandwiches. Are you up for it, Josh? Can you handle this game? Can you do it? I don't know if you can. You played it. Ooh. Did you play it on stream? It has updated skins. Yes, there's been updated content. There's new DLC. Fire Eva saying it's a cute game. It is a very good game. And who is saying Japan does good, but also insane shit with food? Yes, they do. Yes. Especially they eat like the geoducks. Like they look at the big fat cocks. Like the whatever those things are, they eat the shit out of those things. It's weird. So somebody said, yeah, they just have dill and vinegar flavoring. Yeah. It's really a pickle flavoring. I tried it. It's vinegar flavor with dill. Oh, it's not robust urban garlic flavor. Oh, he played for like 10 seconds. Boo. Boo meme. Is there a Clyde battle pass? Yes. You get the skins for Clyde. I'm sorry, the what? Yeah, you never see. Hold on here. The gooey duck. Yeah, you've never seen these things before? Like, these things are huge. And they look like massive schlongs. And this is big in Japan. It's a gooey duck. Yeah, I forgot how you pronounce it for a second. But yes, this is what they eat. Looks like a big old peen. Are they clams? Yes. It's like a poor man's lobster. Well, I'm not eating it. Yeah. It's a big clam. It's a saltwater clam. So they are saltwater clams. It's the world's largest burrowing clam. But like there's just so many pictures of them. You're just like, I'm pretty sure those are penises. You're just like, what? No. A science channel had it censored because YouTube said it was sexual. Oh, well, I guess we'll find out in a second. But anyways, there you go. Karmasaur says, I lived in Japan for 15 years and I've never seen one of those before in my life. You know what? I've watched, you know, my episodes I watched the Iron Chef in Japan where they had those things as part of it. It seemed like every other freaking episode. This was on Chopped one time. Yeah, but Iron Chef where you had the chairman Kaga and he'd sit there and he'd be like, you know, I don't know what he'd scream in Japanese, but he's like, it sounds like it's something you yell at the Kumite when the fight starts. Like, yeah. So they are virtually immortal. Wow. They're popular in the Northeast United States too. Really? Bosch is getting excited. I'm sure he is. Talk about soft boiling hard dick. Yeah. They're oddly popular at Spicer, Minnesota. Oh. Japan's Iron Chef was peak. I loved it because they especially they have these weird people as the guest judges, and one of them was a psychic. And I remember I Googled her once when I was in high school because my mom used to watch all the time. And she was actually in Japan, she was a very famous psychic. It's like having Miss Cleo come in and eat fucking food on your show. It was weird. He'd take a bite of an onion like an apple. No, but he'd eat the pepper like an apple. Any Luigi Mangio news? I mean, he's allowed a laptop to use a jail. So, Maddie B says, I need feedback to improve the game. Go to Sean's Discord and tag me with suggestions. All right, there you go, guys. The original Iron Chef was awesome. Yes, it was. So I think we're all. I eat peppers and onions like apples. Who has the problem? Ooh, onions too, man. Ugh. Do you eat potatoes raw too? I know people who do that. The old Iron Chef episodes are here on YouTube for free. Cool. I know you do. You eat raw potatoes? Ugh. Still freaks me out when people do that. You munch on raw onion like apple slices. Oh. But potatoes aren't my thing. Okay, well. Yes, add a Clyde Beans. The channel's Film Rise Television. Oh, well, thank you, Justin. Thank you. Pickled red onions are the best condiments known to man. Yes, pickled red onions are great. Yes, 2.0 is yes, raw potatoes are not yummy. They're nasty. Old Iron Chef would be base members only content. Well, maybe we'll do that one night. Well, it'll be like Hassan. We're going to watch Master Chef. No, but we're going to cover that pilot thing tomorrow night. It should be a lot of fun. Yes, I know Jim Sterling. Yes. Before he swapped teams, tried to make his own sandwich, was just bread and raw onions. He called it Sterling. I know. That thing was fucking nasty. I'm familiar with Jim before he became fucking whatever her name is now. Watch MasterChef, but instead of walk away, I fall asleep at the chair. Oh, no, chat. Oh, no. All right. All right, guys. Well, it's 11:45. It is getting late. We are burning some daylight here, folks. So I am going to leave you guys. Like I said, tomorrow night, we will start a little earlier to do the... We're going to start a little earlier to talk about some Ethan Klein stuff. It's not going to be super long. And then we will spend some time in the members only going over the new case. It's a pretty new story. Anna Wall says, my trial going? No. We were able to resolve it on Friday afternoon. My guy got my guy wanted a certain outcome, and that was his conditions, and we got his conditions met. So, I mean, ultimately, does he still have to go do some time for it? Yeah, but that's how life goes. But it's an amount he was okay to do, and it's not that long, and we got what we were looking for. So No, we did not have, we didn't have trial. Trial is would have been over today anyway. It had only been a 2-day trial. So yes, James Reed, yes, he trooned out hard. Jim Sterling trooned out like a fucking boss. Like hardcore. So yeah, it's a very interesting Farms thread to read. Amongst other things, if you want to see somebody lose their fucking mind. But yes, the Troon arc is a very common log cow arc as part of the log cow trajectory. There are branches off. And a lot of them, a surprising number of them, have gone down the Troon path. It's past 11, but there's still no stream. Well, apparently there's supposed to be a stream tonight, so. But yes, thank you, Johan. It's almost 11, and there's still no stream. Meme says, I eat tomatoes like apples. See, eating a tomato like that, I don't think I'd ever do that just because it'd be messy. But like, you fry an egg, you put a piece of tomato on it. Like, I get that. So that's a shame. How you doing? I have a trial Tuesday and I have to cross the tool mark expert. Today's Tuesday. You mean next Tuesday? Well, good luck. Good luck. Bring home that 2-word verdict. Bring home that 2-word verdict. Like I said, I hope you're doing really well. It's good to see you. Let's see here. Tomatoes and peppers are great like apples with a little salt. Yes. People say fruit doesn't belong on pizza and they have tomatoes on it. Yeah. Also, doesn't he eat an apple with a spoon? Who eats an apple with a spoon? No Pepsi milk. Okay, now you're just fucking trolling me. Now you're just trolling me. Kiwis, I do not like kiwis. Kiwis, I do not like the taste. Nor the texture. What are those big purple, yellow, or red tomatoes? I think those are beefsteak tomatoes. Yeah, those are good. I've seen Italians do gorgonzola and pears on pizza. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's like a sweet and savory thing there. Pepsi milk is a real thing, has been for decades. Yeah. Yeah. I hate the taste, but I frequent the farm. I do. But isn't that all of us? We're all contradictions at the end of the day. But yeah, Pepsi and milk is a real thing. That sounds so nasty. Sounds so nasty. And kiwis are related to blueberries. I do not like blueberries either, so that makes some sense. Pears on pizza is good. I mean, that would not be. Danny On owes me a stream where we drink pilk. Ew. Ooh, what about Coke and red wine? You can try that one. Let me know how it goes. Kale says like an ice cream float. That still sounds Matt. That still sounds nasty. Your Nana called it moo cow. Ew, it still sounds bad. Demons are dressed as shit. People in Michigan like apples in their cheese omelets. You guys are just making fucking things up right now. Nasty. Think about an ice cream float. I mean, there's not a lot to think about. I don't like them. I've had one once, and like I had a couple, just a little bit, and I'm like, nope, do not like it. Kalimoto. Oh, Coke and red wine is also a thing. Really? Really? Wow. Okay, but what is it with apple pie with cheese on top? People like, yes, I know people who have had like, they have a slice of pie and a piece of like a square of like American cheese, and it's like, ugh. Coke and red wine is how they drink wine in Eastern Europe. Oh my God. Those fucking Slavs. God needs to get you people right. So. It's good. It doesn't sound good. It sounds awful. It sounds awful. So. Sean's face is like, nope, I know. I'm like, nope. So. All right, chat. We are going to land the plane. The plane has to land, so I don't vomit from listening to all this nasty stuff you guys do. So, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Like I said, we'll have a very quick update with some stuff there. Well, my last name does mean Slovakian in Slovakian. Well, that's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, chat. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, I don't like blueberries either. I know. Sorry. Got Safa. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. But anyways, chat, I will talk to you guys later. And remember, until next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Although if you're Adam Lally, you're guilty of being a massive piece of shit. You're a bigger threat to America and the Constitution than Al-Qaeda ever was. Good night, chat. Take care.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fact